I can't hear you, Mariam. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome, 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 welcome. Sorry that we are actually tardy for the party. Well, it's me. Everybody else was on time. It's actually me who was tardy for the party. We want to welcome Mel NYC Reviews. That is his and Mariam, not paid by anyone. Mel NYC Reviews, his moniker is the same on Instagram and on YouTube. He is starting a channel. Go ahead and subscribe because when he drops that content, it's in the beta phase. But when he drops it, it's going to be good. And of course, Mariam, not paid by anyone. Go ahead and follow her on Instagram. You guys, I'll put the link in the description box to both of their Instagrams. Hey, QK. Hey, Lily. What's going on? Sorry, you guys. This was all my fault. I don't know what happened, but whatever. Anyway, I'm late. I messed up. That's all y'all need to know. Okay. All right. So this episode, wow, this episode, I don't know how to feel about it. Hey, Shamika, what's going on? Hey, Kenny. Hey, Trinita. Hey, QK. Hey, Lenny Grace. I don't know, honestly, how to feel about this episode. So let me tell you guys what's going on. This is recaps and rants. It is funny. It is shady, and it is also very detailed commentary and reviews on your favorite housewives shows. Today we are reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac, Real Housewives is Bridesmaids, Real Housewives of Potomac, season 6, episode 11, I think it is. I'm gonna title this will someone please take the vodka out of Gene's Gerald, whatever is G's hands, whatever his name is. G, you know, I didn't know how to feel about it. Let me take you guys through. So the first thing we start with is I go through the episode very quickly for my overseas people in the West Coast that haven't had a chance to see it. And then we let the games begin. Everybody chooses their weapons and we go at it with our commentary, with our mess, and with our shade, and also with a little behind the scenes gossip. So let's just jump in. It starts off pretty good, right? Hey, Miss Innabug, how are you? Hey, Andrella Nichols, what's going on? Okay, so you guys, I'm just going to jump into where it started getting good to me, right? The invitation, right? Giselle and Robin are making a big deal about Wendy's invitation being shady, and because of that, they don't feel welcome. They're not coming, this and that. Okay, let's just break the fourth wall down. They decided that if Wendy wants to play like that, they're going to freeze her out and do her best to me, it looks like get them kind of like cut out of scenes, cut her bag, and maybe even get her off the show, right? It's an old divide and conquer thing we always see on reality TV. I'm not shading them for that, right? I am shading on the fact of Wendy came to your reasonably shady party, and not only did you guys not want to invite her, but you tried to embarrass both Karen and her by saying that Giselle didn't want them to use the bathroom in the house, so they weren't invited, but Robin fought for them, right? Again, this gives me back to Robin. I've always liked Robin, but I will say this season, I don't understand, and maybe there's more behind the scenes we don't see, right? But I don't understand how you're being so shady. I understand you being like, oh my God, girl, just play, we're just playing, just play along. It happens to everybody. But how do you expect someone to act when you're bringing up rumors about their husband cheating on them and having a baby with somebody else in their law firm? These rumors that might have been actually not true, but might have been believed because the blog that was saying them happened to implode this year. But had the blog not imploded, it was all about the tea. But had the blog not imploded, there would have been people all across America believing it, right? Now, it's like, I get you're taking hits and it's all good fun, but how do you not get mad when people take a swing back at you, right? Did you not expect Wendy to defend herself? We then go into Ashley. Ashley's begging Robin and Giselle to come, but I think she's begging them to come because she doesn't want to be on the island by herself. She doesn't care for Wendy. Candace and her do not get along. She doesn't really interact with Muscala, so she doesn't want to be on an island by herself. And with Mia, I feel like Ashley just feels comfortable being shady with Giselle and Robin because she can hide behind her, right? Now, Michael's there. Robin saying, well, Michael doesn't like the Bassett's. Okay, how about the Bassett's don't like Michael? But okay, right? We go to Mia and Jean. They pull up to the lake house. they're talking about where's the valet. And I'm like, it's cute, but you can tell that they rehearse these lines in the car because, girl, it is a private rented vacation rental, right? And there's no valet and it's the middle of the pandemic. So stop it.
Yes.
Stop it. It was just so concerted, right? I'm gonna go through the scenes really quick and then we'll talk about it, right? They start taking shots. I did notice Wendy can't stand Mia. She barely let her eyes fall on her. Wendy's one of those people, she's like me. Her face can't really disguise what she's feeling. And when you don't like someone, you don't even want to lay eyes on them. You're like, you don't exist. You don't exist, right? Wendy goes in. They talk about, she felt like Candace went low. This is one thing we're going to hash out. I don't understand how people feel like you can talk about somebody's man, you can talk about their house, you can talk about their mama, you can talk about their income. And if somebody comes back to you with something you care about, you're like, ugh, how dare you? I do believe there are certain things. You don't talk about children. You don't talk about people's parents. You don't talk about this. But if somebody tells you, my video is my baby, this is important to me, this is my blood, this is my sweat, this is my ego, I have a lot coming out. To me, I might be like, girl, get a grip. But if that's what somebody does, it's like disrespecting someone's work. I might not think of shit, but who am I to say that? Because somebody put their blood, sweat, and tears in. Well, hold on, Mariam. We're about to get into it, right? Then there's a commercial for Wolfgang Puck. I did not know Wolfgang Puck sounded like that. This was the commercial that came on. I don't know what you guys run, but there was a commercial with Wolfgang Puck, and I didn't know he talked like that. Like, hello. I was like, is he from
Germany?
Yes, but he sounds like he has a Indonesian or Vietnamese accent. I don't know, which is odd. I was like, okay, Wolfgang Puck. Giselle and Karen. So Karen says that she invited Giselle to the wedding. Ray is like, oh, is she going to bring her hairdresser? And this is what I mean about people doing low blows. For Giselle, clearly her house and her relationship status are a real touchy subject. You cannot be Giselle's friend, or even she will not entertain you if you insult either her house or her relationship status, right? To me, I wouldn't care if you took a dig at my house or my relationship status, because I'm like, whatever. But this goes to my point that everybody has their boundaries. And if you want someone to respect your boundaries, as long as they're not being too crazy, you're kind of going to have to respect other people's boundaries too. Now, we go there. Wendy and Mia are kind of getting along. G, I'm starting to see from that. G starts being really rambunctious in the kitchen. I'm starting to see from the really rambunctious in the kitchen that G doesn't really have a lot of respect for Mia. Or maybe it's not a conventional respect that I can recognize, but I'll get into that later. Then she makes a comment about, like, Mia, I can tell also, maybe it's growing up in foster care. I really don't know. But Mia gets very, very uncomfortable when she's not the center of attention. And when other friendships are formed outside of her and she's not the nucleus of it, she gets very, very uncomfortable, almost jealous-wise. And it made me think back to old episodes where every single time there was a friendship forming, she put herself in the middle, almost to be the nexus of that friendship. I think that's how Mia feels secure. Like, I'll make everything not revolve around me, but I'll put myself in the center. So that way they can't exclude me because I am the center. Let's see, whatever. Then she makes a comment about, like, Candace's husband needs to give her some so she can get in a better mood. Again, with Mia, I'm beginning to see has really, really rehearsed reads, because who was that for? Chris and Candace, they're young. I didn't know they had a problem with their life, right? We find out that Gene has a preference for white girls, but he lets Mia pick them out. There's Gene's like, where's the white woman at? And acting like he's like a dog. I did notice that Gene's a touchy-feely drunk too. He kept rubbing on the boys. Man, you're solid. I hate touchy-feely drunks. Like, get off of me. Then they do this completely. Listen, Mia and G are so contrived. Then he's halfway drunk, so he forgets his lines. The phone rings and he's like, here. This is for you. This is for you. And she's like, what is this? And he was like, yes, hello, this is Michael. I'm calling about the G-Wagon. And then they're trying to do their lines, and Mia's like, oh my God, what a surprise. Chris and everybody's just like, okay, he's for the season, right? Gene tells her to shut the F up because he's trying to get his drunken lines out over her, right? Wendy and all the girls look, because it's true. If your partner is telling you to shut the F up and miss company, what is he telling you at home? I know Mia said, so then Mia says, you don't understand, Gene. he's a sweetheart at home, but outside, he's a different person. And we're like, Mia, I'm sorry, we are not 12 years
Well,
old.
for
Yeah,
sure.
we've all lived in the real world. If somebody is telling you to shut that F up around mixed company in the real world, who knows what they're saying to you in the thing, right? I also see that again, sadly enough, like most relationships where there's a big gap, not even a big age gap, but my most relationships where there is a big age gap and a big gap in the income, the man kind of lords the power over the woman. I didn't want to say it, but I was really uncomfortable with the energy G was putting out. And it made me feel like Mia was in an abusive relationship, but not to the point that it was like abusive in the way that the girl's fine with it. But it's one of those things where it's like, do you even know this is not healthy? But perhaps this is the most functional relationship she's been in. So she's willing to put the thing in the other. All right. So Gene makes a joke. 8 years, married 7 years too long. He's being drunk G, telling Chris white guys have high interest rates. He's very dismissive of us, right? They're going in talking. So it's Ascala, it is Wendy, and it is Candace. They're whispering. Mia comes in and she already feels awkward because Mia, you can tell she's used to being the outsider and it really gets under her skin. And I think that's why she compensates with the bravado, right? It's not an excuse, but I am seeing this in her personality. Ascala, as soon as she walked in, was like, did G tell you to shut the F up? And Mia, literally in the most insincere thing, said, yeah. And so what? I was fine with it. And I was like, there's not anybody in the world that is told to shut the F up. That's fine with it. Nobody ever says, oh yeah, thanks for that. No problem. So anyway, Mia goes into her being a CEO. You're not a CEO. We'll get into this. They go into the whole Candace low budget. Candace says that just because your pimp found you like a curve on the curve, right? Mia said, God made me
You
perfect.
want
And
to
Candace,
tell me that Candice didn't rehearse her read?
no, honestly, the
Don't
way when Mia said, God made you perfect. And
She
it
had
was
them
like,
one after the other.
can't
Come on.
listen. But Mariam, I'm gonna finish this. But Mariam, I'm quick with it like that with Candace. You've never seen me rip somebody apart. You can give me 2 seconds prep time and I will read you down. I could tell that Candace, it was off to the top. Now, granted, Candace has thought these things about Mia, but to actually be able to read down when she said, God made me perfect. And Candace said, and he made you basic too. Candace was reading off the top of her head. And I loved it, right? Then Mia walks by in the hallway, calls them broke ass bitches, right? The argument continues down the stairs. Y'all, and it goes into pure pandemonium. All right, y'all, let's jump in from the front of the episode and let's get Mel and Mariam to weigh in from the beginning. Wait, hold on. Let's before we get to the big thing, let's start off with the invitations. What do you feel about Robin and Giselle feeling like, oh, Wendy was being shady, so I'm not gonna come to her event.
Hypocrites. Do we say any other thing? They can be shady to whoever they want just because they have a podcast that has the same name, and for much less, Miss Robin Dixon, she flipped on others. So it's okay for her to say rumors and this and that when she's close to Wendy. For me, it's like it's pure, like it's gaslighting. They what applies to others doesn't apply to
Yeah,
them.
I agree with Mariam on that
So
part. I think that is it is hypocritical. I think that it was fake. It was like, are you really insulted? You kicked the woman out your house, so you told her you didn't want to go. I was totally confused by that kind of idea, and I also the fact that they made up a game called Shady and Reasonable, and that whole it was all about being shady. They even want the woman to use the toilet, so. Yeah, I think that they're very hypocritical. It was just fake.
pure hypocrisy.
I would be interested in actually talking to Robin and Giselle. I know just to actually see, but I'm going to wait for the reunion because I doubt we'll get a clear answer. But I want to actually see their thought process because here's the thing: Giselle knows she's being hypocritical. She's just playing the game. But Robin is genuinely 1/3 hurt, 1/3 shocked, and 1/3 angered. And to me, I'm like, but where is this basis for the shock and anger? I see there's 143 in the chat. When it gets to 200, I'll drop the call and link for everybody to get in. Now, let's talk about Ashley and Michael. Michael's not coming because he doesn't like the Bassett's. I mean, I'll give it to Ashley. She finds a way to center Michael somehow everywhere. I feel like Ashley, because she came from very humble beginnings, and Michael. And you know what? I know she came from very, very humble beginnings because even though Michael has all this money, she's still shopping, not even at Fashion Nova, but at like Joyce Leslie and Rainbow Boutique and whatnot. And it's like, if you even came from even like a comfortable working class background, you would be like, off of that money, Michael. Like, I need to go to Bloomingdale's at least. Like, I didn't say I have to shop at Neiman's, and I don't have to shop at Barney's. I think Barney's closed down. But come on, Michael, I need money for Bloomingdale's. And the fact that she doesn't tax his pockets enough to be like, I at least need the level I was living before, lets me know that this has actually come up. And he's always going to be Michael Darby. Even the way she says, I'm married to Michael Darby. Michael's a big businessman. She's very, very, very impressed with Michael, and he will forever be a scion in her heart. But I just found it just so funny the way it's like, Michael doesn't care for the Bassetts. I find that in reality TV, and I think that's why the producers stay on, it is kind of like an ultimate, right? Oh, wait, sorry, guys. No call until there's 150 likes. And what's up, be the best moderator ever? When I get to 150 likes, I'll drop the call-in button. Okay, so I don't know. I just find it odd. And here's the thing I was getting at. In reality TV, I find it very, very hard that there's these popular clubs. You guys know what I'm saying? There's a producer. Producers' favorites can never do wrong. They can show up on cash trips. They can not show up on cash trips. They can do what they want. And then everybody else just has to get in where they fit in. And clearly, Michael and Ashley remain the producers' darlings and the producers' favorites. Do you guys have thoughts on Michael and Ashley?
I feel like Ashley she has issues. She has daddy issues, and let's not forget she's when you give birth, it takes you a while. I'm not saying that she was ever the best dressed, but she was never dressed like this. This season is too much. It's obvious she's going to Rainbow, to get clothes. Yeah, she wasn't like that much. She was better. I feel like there is something. She's just became a mother of two, and maybe there's all these things rejected by her father. And Michael Darby, he looks like her father. I feel like there's that. This is why I don't like that much to talk about the dynamic of both. I feel bad for Ashley. I really do.
Yeah, I think Ashley. Oh, yeah.
No, go on, Mel. I'm sorry. Go on.
No. I was just going to say that I think that Ashley. Yeah, I think that I don't. I really don't care about her clothes because I mean, as a man, I can never even make commentary about a woman's fashion or anything like that. I would just say that when I look at her, I do see a mother who's basically doing something beautiful with the milking. She's breastfeeding. She's producing milk all the time in the program. So maybe the clothes she's picking is suited for those kind of moments that she's always sort of consistently, doing that. Yeah, Ashley's not one of my favorites, and I think it was some people was commentating on different things where they were saying, well, she had no sensitivity when it came to this woman named Katie, how Katie was mentally having some issues and that she was going through something. I think that Ashley in the past, or whoever she is, she's a woman who, I mean, I just think she was like Candace 2.0, basically. The way people describe Candace is the way that she is, she's, and also Michael. The idea that Michael doesn't like anybody. Well, I think there's a whole list of people in the court systems who are saying that they don't like Michael Darby because they have maybe some nightmares about him. Michael, to me, has always been, he's just been a terrible person. I mean, he's fought with women. He's called them names. He's done so many things. And I think they just don't pull any punches. I just don't like them. I don't like them. I find them controversial. I find them polarizing. I find them disgusting, the both of them.
I agree. Let me just say this to you guys and the people in the car. I'm not talking about Ashley's clothes from this season. I'm talking about Ashley because she just had a baby. I'm talking about Ashley since she's first gotten here.
Okay.
The fact, listen, when you marry for money and status, I expect you to have access to it, or else what were you doing? It says something about their power dynamic. And I'm not saying she has to be dripped in I'm not saying she has to be dripped in Hermes or Versace. But if your husband is a 100 millionaire and owns half the property in the DMV area, why is he not hitting you off of 5 or 10,000 a season to go hit up Bloomingdale's and get your spring wardrobe and your summer wardrobe
I think
and get your fall wardrobe? I mean it. These are simple things that even middle class people do. You're marrying for the stature. To me, and the way I look at little indications, if a man does not feel like, and again, for Michael's money, her hitting her off, giving her 5,000 a season is nothing. It's nothing. So even 5,000 a season, that's 20,000 a year on clothes. Even if he gave her 10,000 a year on clothes, even if he gave her 5,000 a year on clothes, he's not even giving her that, and he could give it easily. That lets me know
maybe
there's a big power to
taste. Maybe even
what?
if he, maybe she doesn't have taste.
It's not about taste. It's about the cheapness. You cannot have taste and you're still shopping in stores that are on your level.
Giselle
Now,
doesn't look good, and she shops everywhere.
who?
Giselle.
Giselle's shit is actually higher quality than Ashley's. Giselle might not put it together, but Giselle be wearing Versace. She be wearing Prada, and she be
Yeah,
wearing Fendi. Yes, she does. I've seen her. I know. Listen, I know clothes. Giselle just doesn't put them together well. Giselle wears rag and bone jeans. Giselle wears rag and bone jeans.
Doesn't matter if you don't like. If it doesn't matter how expensive it is. If you don't know how to put the look together, it doesn't matter. Giselle, she has Versace, she has brands, and it doesn't work. And
but you're going away from my point. You cannot tell me that Ashley married a man for money and she is fine not having access to it. It speaks to a power imbalance. That's all I'm saying.
I'm telling you, I think she doesn't have good taste. That's what I'm saying.
But so she doesn't have good taste. Why is she in
body?
Okay,
but taste.
But you guys, if Ashley doesn't have good taste, fine. But why
look
is she
at
shopping
her man. Look at her man.
But what does not having good taste have to do with shopping at Rainbow?
But even if she shops there, look at Giselle. That's you're just proving.
You don't understand. I'm not saying I'm not. But I'm not.
To look together. Ashley doesn't go. She doesn't have brands, but again, she doesn't know how to put looks together. She has a great body. She can look good in anything if she had taste, but it seems like she doesn't. Maybe
okay, but I think we're conflating two issues. Me seeing that you have access to what you sacrifice for because she gets cheated on, she gets disrespected. He talked about her and her mom, said she wasn't good enough to have his kids. She literally cheated on her while she was pregnant. She disrespects her on TV. Ashley puts in work. We're conflating two issues.
No, I am not.
But being tacky,
yeah,
and not having access to the money. This is the same man that told her that he was cutting her mom off. So I can see people being like, well, maybe Ashley likes to invest. If Ashley had access to that money, how come you can't get your rich husband to invest in your mom's house? You know what? I'll shop at Rainbow all day. Take care of my mom and my family. I'm cool. She couldn't even get that. So but again, where's this?
He was taking care. The problem with her mom was that boyfriend that was taking advantage of her. So
his solution to that was to throw the mom and stop paying the mom's bills. I feel like you're in an abusive situation, so I'm going to cut you off when I know that you have an addiction problem, and I know that you used to live on the Virgin at 10.
I don't think you remember correctly.
I do.
He was saying, if you leave him, if you kick him out of the house, you're okay.
Michael is not in the position. Michael is not Ashley's mother's father. It is not his place.
To get money, and he doesn't condone.
Well, Mariam, I see what you're saying. This is the difference of opinion. If someone's my man and my family needs help, you mind your business about what's going on in the house. They are my family. You give me the money and I'll give it to them. If there's an issue, I'll take care of it. I married you. I gave you children. We know we have the money. So please mind your business and I'll take care of my family. You give the money to me. I would never let an outsider, whether I loved him or her.
He's not an outsider. If he's giving her, here's the thing. If you don't want me to give my 50 cents in your life, then don't take my 50 cents literally.
Mariam, I'm talking. Me talking and giving my point is not you.
No, I'm not talking about you. Okay. I'm talking about them. I'm talking about them. I feel like when the moment that he becomes the provider, which he was, Michael, and I think he still is. It's like, and he sees how bad that man is to Ashley's mom. It was giving her tough love. That's how I saw it. And to be honest with you, I see someone is taking advantage of my mother-in-law, and I am funding that, maybe I try cutting the money. Maybe this way they split ways, and I
Okay, well,
think
you know what? That's actually a difference of approach. That would be the way you would handle it. I'm looking at it from the way I would handle it. This one, so Tiara says that man was the father of Ashley's little sister. You can't just kick somebody out. And again, this might be just a difference of opinion. I know for myself, when I date someone, if they are serious, and especially if that person was my husband, if I tell you my mom needs help, my mom needs help. I'll take care of that. We can talk all day about it. Yeah, I'm working on it. But never would it be on the table that I cut my mom off financially. Ever. Even if she was on drugs, guess what? We're paying for Sunny rehab on the cliffside. That's $60,000 a month. We're gonna do that. I just don't think it's a thing. And I think it was really you can be someone's husband. And this is just the way my family is. And you can be someone's wife. But when it comes to you either help or you don't help. And if you help, you don't have the right to control someone. You can't do this, you can't do that. Now you can suggest, you
okay,
can
you
try to
see
love.
that role. Yeah, to be honest with you, I feel like I'm not saying that my approach would be like Michael's, but
Yeah.
in that situation, when he sees that the man is taking advantage of his mother-in-law, and because he's staying there and he doesn't have a job, maybe this is the when you cut off. You say, you go get a job.
Well, how about Michael of all his money? Obviously, if that guy was doing this, it was rumored or hinted at that there was addiction problems. And Michael really cared about keeping the family together. Since that's the father to Ashley's sister, why didn't he offer rehab? Why didn't he offer occupation? Why didn't he offer him a job? Instead,
but do you know that
on top of that, Michael didn't even have the balls to go and tell her mom, I'm cutting you off. He was pushing Ashley to do that shit. That was some cold-blooded shit, that scene where Ashley was basically crying, saying, Mommy, I'm sorry. You know, I'll always support you. It's just that Michael feels. That was some cold-blooded shit. If you have the balls to say, it's my money and your mom's getting cut off, then go tell her. Go tell her.
Ashley was in agreement with Michael.
No. Ashley, if she was agreeing with Michael, wouldn't have been crying her eyes out. Ashley was begging Michael to have a baby, and Michael also put her ass out and sent her somewhere into Delaware. Ashley was fighting for her own stuff, and Michael the things. I would have told my boyfriend, you know what? If you feel that way, you go and you tell my mom that. And as soon as he moved to the door, I'd be like, if you even dare say that shit to my mom, we're done. We're done.
Because it's hard to say that to your mother, but she was in agreement. She's the one who tells Michael everything. And she was complaining about that man, that he's taking advantage of her mother. To be honest with you, I feel like oftentimes people say yes out of fear, but they don't say no out of love. Sometimes you have to cut off like the money for them to get their shit together.
Okay, you don't marry your wife, you marry the family. That's why my family's raised. And you look after the family. For my boyfriend's family, for my family, it's the same thing. If I had to get in there and actually do something to help somebody in this family, I 100% would. And when you say that Ashley thought, I remember that season, Mariam, Ashley was fighting even for Michael. Michael wanted to rewrite the relationship. Remember, he pulled that prenup shit? He wanted to rewrite the relationship. He wanted to, he cursed her out about, I don't want you to have a baby because what if you look at the way your mom raised you? And he said that on national TV. And he also kicked her out. And I remember when she was driving back over to that apartment and she was talking to Giselle and Ashley burst out in tears.
I'm not defending Michael.
Here's my whole point. I married you for money and security. And if you are not supplying that to my family, and not even that, you're having this discussion on national TV. Like, Michael, we can't talk about anything going on with Michael. We can't talk about Michael's ex-wife because Michael said so. We can't talk about his kids. We can't talk about his business dealings. None of that shit. And remember when he was about to walk out on camera because Ashley was trying to have a conversation with them about something that was going on? But yet, Michael, in his entitlement, can sit there and call Ashley's mom everything but a child of God. She wasn't raised right. And then I just think that there's a power imbalance. We can argue whether it's right or not, but I do think that if Ashley had the money, she would not have been doing that shit. And she wouldn't have cut her mom off. Because if you see, her mom's still with the guy. But here's the thing. Her mom's still with the guy. her mom's still with the guy. And now Ashley's Real Housewives of Potomac check is taking care of her mom. So if Ashley really felt that way,
There you
she
go.
would no, but if Ashley really felt that way, she would have cut her mom off. So you to say her and Michael are in agreement, they're not. Because Ashley didn't cut her mom off.
I think
Michael
they're exclusive. What I think is then when the money is not coming from Ashley, then she knows she doesn't have the sole decision in helping her mother. Good for her that she is working and she's helping her mother. Period. End of story. I feel like when you let someone fund me, like it doesn't come unconditional, unfortunately. And it's clearly there is the power imbalance in that relationship. I don't know.
I agree with that. But
yeah, still.
No, I agree with that, but I want better for women because I've dated lots of people that help me out, and sometimes the people I love, and it was never up for a question. You marry. It's kind of like the way I felt Crystal Minkinoff on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when she said, "I told Rob it's part of my culture. If you take me on, you got to buy my parents a house. This is part of my culture." And he said, "I'm right there." Those are the type of men that are out there with money. You cannot, and my whole point with Ashley is saying Ashley's relationship is, to your point, Mariam, is a power imbalance. It is a sugar daddy, sugar baby. And I think that's sad.
I think
that's all.
It is sad. That's why I just told you, like, I feel sad for Ashley because of all these reasons. She is very weak in the relationship. She doesn't make money. And now she's finally able to be a mom. So she's stressing on all that. Yeah. Maybe one day she will like, okay, deuces, man. You know, I don't know. I'm sad.
I hope so.
I cannot feel like
Mel said, I hope so.
I hope so too. Or a miracle happens that Michael becomes like a decent husband, because he's not. But then again, I feel like everything he does to her, Ashley accepts. And just to go back to G and Mia, I feel like both of them are disrespectful to each other the same way. I you when you said, oh, she was putting up an act that she wasn't bothered. I feel like this is how they talk to each other. Shut the fuck up, both of them, because she really shouldn't play.
I would agree with you, except the fact that when it happened, I saw embarrassment and cover up embarrassment on Mia's face. I really thought, now let me know in the comments, Mel and Mariam, weigh in on this definitely. We'll start with you, Mel, then go to Mariam. But from my point, you're right. Some couples do talk to each other. But when he did that, Mia looked embarrassed really quick, and she fixed her face, and then she was like, what of it? But even the way she came into the room, she knew they were talking about her. When someone really, if it's like me and my family, we tell each other to shut up, not shut the fuck up, but shut up all the time. Like, shut up, idiot, right? And then I walk in the room and I'm like, yeah, what are you guys doing? But she was even walking in the room with that embarrassing thing. Like, she knew that this facade that she put up about Gene and him being this loving husband that worshiped her, there's cracks in it. For him to be talking about,
do you think it is a safe place for her to be vulnerable? And when she knows that
not being vulnerable, no, it's not about being vulnerable.
No, she's covering up. If I'm embarrassed and I'm in the group, if my significant other embarrassed me in front of people who I know do not like me, I am going to fake just like Mia did. I will.
I know, but we're talking about Mia faking, not whether she had a right to. We're talking about the fact that she was faking, not the fact. I thought you were saying that. And Mel, weigh in on this. Let's get Mel into this. Mel, what did you think of that?
Well, I think that Mia, I thought it was uncomfortable seeing, that he would cuss out like that. But I think that at that point, wasn't he drunk a little bit? Maybe he was a little drunk. He was, but okay. So at that point, when he talked about the car, were they already drinking?
Yes,
he was definitely drunk. But the way Gene drinks, you can tell that he's drunk on every day. He's only sober on the days that don't end in Y.
Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah. Well, so what I think is that. Do I think that she, when she went into the bedroom and she said, "Oh, this is how we talk to each other, and it's no big deal, whatever"? No, I think that I think she was definitely covering up for embarrassment, and at least I hope that she would have been embarrassed as a woman. She would go, "Listen, I'm the mother of these children. When any man talking to me this way in public or private, that's just not appropriate." Yeah, I just think that's probably what it is. But I think that I will say this to Mariam. Listen, I think that for me, if I'm in that bedroom. I'm trying to think. It was Candace, and it was Escala, and it was Wendy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would almost be like if Candace went into a room with oh God, I don't know. It's something. Yes, I don't know if Mia would have been very open to talk about women's empowerment with those women in that moment.
I don't think that I was expecting Mia to talk about it.
Yeah.
I was just pointing out to y'all because I didn't expect Mia to be like, you guys, hold me. I
no, yeah.
Mia was very embarrassed. That Gene, I think, and again, I take cues and there's little things I pick up. The fact that he was speaking to her like that, the fact that he was telling everybody he prefers white girls and he has Mia pick the girls out for him, the fact that he's like, I'm a strip club commissaire, the fact that he was doing all this with his wife while Mia's getting more and more uncomfortable. And again, if it didn't bother Mia, okay, fine, y'all just like that. But when Mia came in the room, that's when I saw, you are upset by this, and which just let me know. I didn't expect her to break down, but it let me know there's also a power imbalance in your relationship. And as much as you talk that boss bitch shit, Gene holds the horse things, whatever. Gene drives the car, and it's a nice rags to riches story that he met you in the strip club and now you're this boss bitch, blah, blah, blah. But when I saw her with Gene and the way he treats her, I was like, this seems a bit dismissive. It seems a bit derogatory. It seems like what I expect someone that I don't know. And maybe it's the most functional relationship she's been in, but it was a far cry from the usual way she tries to portray it. That's all. I was just making an observation. I
want to say one thing, and I love that we got these two guests here. I was going to say, sorry about that. Do we think that G, this whole season where he was taking care of his sons, his family, stuff like that, and the way he was at the beginning of the season was very supportive. Do we think that was real, and that do we think that was fake and this is real? I think that was very real.
Here's the thing. I don't give men points for being sweet and loving to their children. I think that's a natural human response. To me, it's a natural human response. So I see what you're saying about, we saw him being sweet and making the kid. There's your offspring. Yeah, I get that. I'm saying that G drinks a lot. I can tell by how he was throwing it back.
Yep.
He likes to drink.
Drunk like that.
What's
this
that?
Is the time we see him drunk like this.
What's the first time we've ever seen Gene outside of 10 minutes at the house?
No, we saw him in the other event at what's her name. We see he films with Mia. He Karen's event, whatever. So this is the first time that we see him drunk.
Karen's event, there wasn't alcohol there though.
No, I know what I was saying, Tisa. No, I'm thinking I agree with you. And when a person takes care of their family, you don't get bonus points. But I'm saying that it just seemed to, as a viewer, it was total jarring to see where the producers or the directors or whoever showed him as a supportive husband, which he probably is. But when he saw partying, honey, he was like, he was calling names and he was doing whatever. So maybe that's what.
And listen, maybe it's because I've never been in a relationship like that. Whenever I hear that a man has his woman picking out girls for them to come home, I automatically assume it's a power balance. I automatically do. I know some people are like, no, that's what we're into. But then whenever I get further into the story, no, it was something they're just like, yeah, because they're doing it to get. And again, maybe I'm just like projecting my version of what I've experienced with the people I've helped. I've just never really met anybody that was okay with having to bring other people in their bedroom when they are not bi.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? If the person's bi, man or woman, okay, yeah, bring them because this scratches my itch. But I've never seen a straight person willingly bring other partners into the bed outside of satisfying the itch of someone else. But let's bring a few other people in. Kaya, ACE, welcome in. QK. Listen, what do you guys think of Gene? I mean, maybe I am just being too looking for things. Maybe I'm just being too. You guys, let me know.
No, I think you're right. I think it's interesting because the way he acted is the way that Mia acts around the women when he was asking for the valet and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we obviously knew that he met her where he met her. And so I don't really think he really poured into her the way that she initially talked about it. It's kind of like, yeah, you're my show pony. So you can kind of go out there, you can have all the nice things, you can talk down to people, but when we're in the home or when we're together or when it's time to have fun, it felt degrading to me.
Yeah, it felt
And
that's
very
what I'm trying to
showboaty.
get at. It felt very degrading for whatever reason, and I couldn't really figure out. I mean, I know the reasons, but yeah, I think it's a woman thing. It just felt degrading. Everything he did was just hitting something where it was like, and that's
Yeah.
why Lindsay was looking at him like, uh-huh.
Even the nice thing was the G-Wagon. I found it so weird that like there's supposed to be this nice surprise, and in it somehow, some way you are still belittling your wife about a surprise you're supposed to be giving her for the anniversary.
It was just weird. It was weird. And you know what? I'm waiting to see how he shapes up because, to Mel's point, he seems to be a loving father. He sees this, but also I do want to say, Mel, this is what I'm interested to see next year. You know, everybody comes in with that perfect facade, and I'm not saying that it's not perfect, right? But I feel like because what we know of Mia, just give it a second before, like, let's shake that varnish off and see what's really under there. You
But
know,
you know
I
what
mean,
I
it's
think?
already
But
showing.
But I was going to say what I think is that probably was the producers for it because maybe he was being very real, but what all we saw was homework. All we saw was supporting the white. So that's why I was asking you. It was like, well, maybe it felt disjointed because the producers didn't show him casually calling her out her name at the house. Maybe he does do that,
ah,
but we didn't see it. So the first time we saw that was when he got drunk with the adults. So all I saw as a viewer was just him like, oh, well, what's going on when you meet the ladies? He was supporting and listening. And again, from the viewer standpoint, he seemed like a very nice husband. But I think that definitely there's something there where he would be casually, disrespectful in a way. I think that's possible. Absolutely. I think that maybe he does that even when he's not drinking, of course.
well,
Because,
maybe.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go on, Mel. No, Mel. Finish. Keep going. Keep going.
No, no,
Sorry.
no. That's what I do think. I don't think he's an angel, but I think that maybe the alcohol sort of unlocked who he is probably, but we just haven't seen it. We just haven't seen it on the show. We just saw something totally different.
I feel
Yeah.
like so far, I feel like he has flaws, definitely. And this was horrible, horrendous. For me, if you ask me what would I title this, I would say cringy on both ends, on G's end and on Candace's end. Because, like,
Oh, Lord.
at this point, he knows about me and mom, period. End
Well,
of
G,
story.
we're not there yet, but G definitely. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, what the present. Yes, that was crazy. When you give a present, you need to make a performance in front of strangers. I thought that was a
Yeah,
little.
they did that.
Okay, wait. Mariam, Agnes Kane wants you to know that you belong on Kempire TV. Your opinion is more valuable over there.
Uh-oh.
Agnes Kane
Uh-oh.
wanted you to
Shots.
know that. Agnes, you ain't got a lot hide to kick it. It's fine. Next time, call in and tell her that shit on my show. All
Well,
right, sweetie?
know,
Call in.
I
You ain't
like
got to post shit in the comments.
I like people say those things because,
Some
like,
people
I'm
have no
allowed to have my
shame.
opinion, and you guys can have your opinion.
Of
What I
course.
saw
Yes.
from me today was extremely cringy, and I hated it as much
Yeah.
as what came out of Candace's mouth. And I'm gonna double down on that. And I'm not gonna be scared of people saying, "Go over there." You go over there and watch Empire. How
That's
about that?
right.
So, like,
No, hold on. But Mariam, hold on. We're not there yet. No,
We're not there
Mariam.
yet. We're not there yet. Now,
Mariam,
let's
hold it,
let's
because we're
hear
going
Miss
to have a fight
Kyra.
of a lifetime when we get there. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear Miss Kyra,
And we
AC,
have to
and
take
everybody else.
turns to really
I-
get
Wait,
through
hold
it.
on, hold on. What do you say,
Go
Mariam?
over
I can't hear you. What do you say?
Like, you go over there and go over here. Like, do you and I do me. For me, G, he showed so far, and I don't know if that was a show for the show, but he showed that he's extremely supportive of Mia, as according to her mom, and the advice that he gave Mia was really very touching because he was on the side of you have to rekindle the relationship with your mother, like that. G, I loved.
Listen.
Today's G, no, to the trash, to the curb.
Listen, I agree with you. Ladies in the comments, because I can only speak from a heterosexual woman's point of view. When a man is that cringy and dismissive of you in public, is he being a perfect angel behind the doors? That's all. Now here's the
No.
thing.
Oh no, he's an angel.
G might not be telling her, "Oh, F your mom," because Jean has a heart. But I will just say that, right? This is what I was trying to say. XCE, wait, you're in the chat. ACE
Right
said,
there. Yeah.
I think Tisa's point is a general fact. And she faked, that's what I was trying to say. She fakes her way in general, and now her slip is showing. ACE, jump in on this.
Have
Yes,
you seen the power dynamic though?
it's really giving me bottom bitch vibes. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
And like
Oh my God.
tonight, like it really just, I don't know. I felt like she was still in the strip club, and I'm not trying
Yes.
to like downplay her, but the dynamic just felt that way, and the way that he was just freely talking about other women in front of her, it was very cringy. And I actually felt kind of bad for her, just because what she was already going through with her mom, and then it seems like not much has probably changed based on this relationship. But at the same time, like to what Mel was saying earlier, I think all things can exist separately, because he could be a amazing father to his children, but still treat the mother of his children that way, or stepmom, whatever the situation is. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was something there. And again, we do live in a world, like you guys are all saying, to Mel, to your point, Mariam, and ACA, to your point, and Kaya, to your point. We live in a world that, even serial killers have people crying their eyes out in court saying, no, he was a good man, right? So you can exist in different modes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You could
Not
be.
serial killer. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, but it's
Yeah,
true
but
though. Like,
moment. That was a good moment. I feel like if it was bad, he wouldn't support her. We were just talking about how to support your parents when you have the money, and he was really, Ashley needs to dream of Michael ever doing that to her family. He was really it was very supportive. This is why I think he needs to stay away from the shots of vodka that he had today. That's what I think.
Well, I actually disagree with that. So if he's so supportive, all we saw was him kind of, help Mia acknowledge her feelings in front of her mother. She has been out of jail now for 10 years, and it seems like the relationship is still the same. Like, it seems like they're still two strangers passing the night. It seems like the grandchildren might know her a little bit better and are so, more connected to her. But I can't see my dad being so supportive. But my relationship with my mom is essentially me still crying out like a child for my mom to love me the way I think she's loving my sister.
Yeah, I'll leave. I'm gonna leave. Actually, I leave Mia's relationship with her mother alone. I mean, I have my opinions on it, just like you guys do. But that's the one thing we talked about it last episode. It's a little bit too dark. It's like
It was dark.
Tisa, it's the realest thing what's been on Potomac is this mother and daughter relationship.
True.
And you can see the brick wall, and you can see Mia, how she's struggling, and it makes her look like as though she's being a bitch towards her mom. She's not. She's still fighting those feelings what she's had as a kid, and how she's had been put into childcare. That's the problem. And there'll probably be a lot of resentment going on, because people change when they get older. The mother's recovering, and there's a lot of wounds that need healing. But I do see the power dynamic, what's going on with Michael Darby, and the way he treats Ashley. If you call back the couple of episodes where he called her Western crap after she just had a child.
Yeah.
That was shocking, that.
It's
and I thought, Michael, since when were you Brad Pitt? Since when were you Brad Pitt?
Michael with this chicken wing skin had the nerve to be telling Ashley that she should have lost weight.
You are insulting chicken wings.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, one thing I want to point out is that I don't think it's always just this age dynamic as well. Because, I'm actually in a position where, my husband is 20 years older than me.
Okay.
So, we don't, well, also I don't put up with a lot of stuff, and he's scared of me. But, but also I think that it's I think it just comes from what you're used to as a child and what you were accustomed to as a child that sets your mind frame towards this. And I think with Ashley being raised with less than and being picked out of similar story to Mia, being rescued out of a bar, out of a lounge, is this is really, really sad, but this heroism. And also it goes back into those stories that you hear about Cinderella and all these different people living in desolate situations, and this guy with this rich house castle sweeps you off the feet. And I think that's what it really ties into. It's this ideology that you've been rescued when in fact you are now captured. And I think that another thing is that you're then feel like you owe this person this stuff for the bare minimum, because Ashley's not not even just her clothes, but Ashley doesn't have expensive items. Period.
Yeah.
Like, her car is just an
That's what I
Audi.
mean.
It might be just the way Ashley is. She doesn't
And
want them.
and the baby's
Doesn't
car
think it's
seat
necessary.
isn't no more than a $300 car seat. It's
Yeah,
a
that's what I mean.
pretext.
Like, you
So
can't, what were you saying? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
No, I was just saying, like with the young lady here, but what I was saying is, Ashley might think it's not necessary. It might not be her way of life. She might not like those things. It might not be like a thing for her. She's wanting that money in the bank for when he cheats on her again. Come on,
Uh-oh.
just
Really
put
think
No,
that
because
he's
she
giving
even
it
threw
rest?
that in front of Candace's face at Wendy's daughter's baby shower when she was like, "Well, my husband's a millionaire. Why doesn't he need money from Monique?" She's very much so aware of the money that
Yeah.
Michael has, and we've already seen again. She said that he's the one with the purse strings, and she might not even have a card to the main account. Like,
Yes.
she
That's what
cares.
I did. Again, I could be wrong, but judging by the way he would not sign that
Post-nap.
post-nup, the way he made her change the prenup, the way he was tight. Again, here's my whole thing, right? When
Did
I
they
say get a
no?
guy,
Did they
what's that?
change eventually? Did they?
No, Michael got into her head. He is her Svengali. He got into her head and was like, we don't need this, babe. We have love. And so Ashley was like, you know what, babe? I love you and you don't need to sign it. And I said, but he made you sign the prenup. Like,
The second prenup.
the second prenup. And but Ashley's always trying to prove herself to him. Again, my whole thing with this, it really does, and I can't stand Ashley just like Mel. Like Ashley really, like you said, she was a terror, and now she's on the mommy earth baby breastfeeding thing. But she's a terror, and she knows as long as she has that baby in front of her, you can't really tear her apart so much. But Ashley was and continues to be a terror. And I just, again, if she married for love, this conversation would not be important because it's like, it's our money. You spend it how you know what I'm saying. But the fact that we know that this wasn't for love and this was a come up and this was the secure bag, even that time she flipped up and she's like, no, I want my investment. I put a lot of energy and now I want my return on my investment. And she's like, oh, sorry, it came out the wrong way. It's like, yeah.
Actually, Michael's relationship is Portia's future.
Well, Portia. Well, that's like
Simon
a
don't
lot.
stay with no one. Sorry to interrupt, but Simon doesn't stay anybody past 2 years. And Ashley's been married for what, 5?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying about the power balance when someone thinks I'm marrying him for the money will be flowing. It won't. That's my point.
Let's be real, though. This does happen in real life where you get younger women who are pretty and the older men do snap them up and they become that kind of like housewife for their husband. It happens in real life. This is not new. It's an ongoing thing. And you get the diversity of like other women being stronger, making their own money. And you judge them and look at them like, ugh, like that kind of thing. But it's life. It happens. There's nothing you can do about it. It's how she chooses to live her life. If she's happy with that situation, let her live it like that. You know what I mean?
You know what? We'll let it read. But listen, we have a few new people, callers in. It's Lorinda and Val. Lorinda, Val, you guys want to weigh in on this?
Hey, yeah. So my take on it is I definitely think, and I like Candace, but I think she was dead wrong for going after Mia's mom like that. And
Well,
I
hold on. We're
also
going to
think
get to
like,
that in a second.
I also
Thank
think,
you.
okay, my
Someone
bad. And then, no, I also think that, like, I feel like the way we talk about boss women is very wrong. Meaning, like, you being dependent on your mom and you being dependent on your husband, to me, that's not a boss. A boss woman doesn't actually have to be dependent on any of those people to do what she wants to do. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're arguing, you guys are kind of like arguing the same point, but from a different perspective. Like, I don't think either is better than the other because just because the point is you have to deal with their crap because they fund your lifestyle. I mean, you're in the same situation with just one vagina you came out of and the other one, you got to give up.
But you know what? I do think that, people that are very toxic will lord the money over you. But just like you can find a man that supports you, but also respects you and encourages your dreams, just like you cannot find parents that do that too. But I agree with you to that point, Val, that there's a lot, that's reality TV, right? We wouldn't be here if all the relationships weren't a little off, a little toxic.
Dodgy.
Absolutely, we love it. I love the mess.
Champagne glass because Scala seems like the most functional one there, and they're just like, boring, So not until she called me a hoe ass that people stand up and be like, ooh, yes, let's get her on. So I agree with you. There's in this relationship, it's so funny. But I would rather that come from my parents than someone that can divorce me. Because your parent, no matter how mad they are at you, it's only a matter of time before they cave in again. You see what I'm saying? But somebody can divorce you and never look back.
To a degree. I think the point is if someone can flex on your life, then you're not in charge. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom and my man, they can act up. I'm still driving a luxury vehicle. I still own my home. Like, what? My quality of life isn't dependent on my relationship. So I just feel like where that's, to me, what a boss is. So that's why I loved Wendy and her 4 degrees last year. To me, that's, even though Wendy's annoying to me this year, like, that's boss energy. Like, and I'm not saying people don't help you get places in life, and that is positive. But, I don't know. I just don't.
I'm saying, if you really put me on, put yourself on too, so.
True, but I will say this. As someone who's benefited from other people's sacrifices, sometimes people can't necessarily get you there, but because you were able to stand on their back, you got to get higher. So I do respect the sacrifices of folks who helped you. But anyway.
I do, but when somebody tries to take credit for where you've been, it's like, they helped you, but it was also a quality you had that actually got you that place too. We're not talking about being grateful. We're talking about the people that try to knock you down for the help they've given. I agree, be grateful. Everybody helped you. But when people try to knock you down, and it's like if you were on my channel and then you get the most successful YouTube channel, and I'm like, but that's because I had Val on my panel and blah, blah, blah. You're like, okay, well, hold on. I appreciate that, but I got myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was my work, my ambition. You helped me, but it was me that actually did it, So let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Lorinda, why don't you weigh in really quick? And then we'll go back into Mel because we're going to move into the next scene. And also, Val, if you don't mind, just hold on. Sorry, Lorinda, why don't you weigh in?
Someone needs to mute their giving feedback.
There we go. Okay, so Lorinda, do you have anything? Lorinda. Folks, I think we lost Lorinda.
Yeah.
Lorinda? Okay, well, okay. And then there were 5. Okay, so we're playing Squid Game on
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so let's move into the next scene. And Mel, I want you to take the lead on this. All right, so let's get into it. Let's walk in. Mia walks into the room, and Ascala starts off by saying, "Did you tell you to shut the F up? Go." What was your take on that scene in the room?
Mel?
Mel is backstage.
Mel is backstage. He's got to be brought up. He had technical issues a little while ago.
Oh, okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. Mel, hello. Don't ever scare us like that again, Mel.
No.
I'm done with this shit. So listen. So Mel, we're starting off, and I want you to take the lead on this. And then, of course, we'll go to Mariam, and then we'll go to QK, Kaya, of course, and Val. So listen, I'm sorry, Judge of Justice and Val. So listen, what we go into the room. The girls are talking because they're just like, yo, G's out of control. And I thought that was a very normal scene because I've been in situations where somebody's mate, man or woman, is drunk off their ass and being extra. And it's that extra that's really starting to annoy you because some people do get really crass when they get drunk, right? And I'm not a sensitive thing, but like somebody going like this and thing, I'm just like, okay, like, let me just step out of here. This is getting too much. But Mia came in because she knew that they were talking about her. And Ascala was like, did Mel tell you to shut the F up? And then the conversation that tumbled out after that between Mia and Candace. What did you think about that conversation?
Well, I love Miss Candace. I love her, love her, love her, love her. But I will say that, Mia was definitely not in the power position in that conversation. Unfortunately, she went in that room, and Wendy barely, even though she just sort of told Wendy about that very traumatic history that she has. I will give to Wendy point that she is, unlike Giselle, she's a woman who can hear a story like that and go, you know what? I absorbed this story. I'm not going to really go this way, and I'm actually going to tell my girlfriend, who I love, Miss Candace. I got to pull you to the side, but she didn't get a chance to. That was sad. That she couldn't really get her to say, okay, like because but well, I was going to say like with so many people who said about Candace, they go, oh, she knows, she knows, she knows. I'm like, oh gosh. So she was trying to. I was going to Miss Mariam. You didn't get your turn, Miss Mir. But I just going to say, yeah, I think that that was an unfortunate situation that conversation between them happened. And I think Mia was, she was embarrassed by her husband. And then she got in the room and she got ate up by the girls. I mean, I can't, I love Candace. What can I say? I love her. And I'm never going to not love her, but that's what it was.
Do you think, okay, well, let me ask you this then. Do you think Candace went too far in her low blows?
Yes.
Low blows. I think that she was, I just, for me, like I said, I love Candace, but I just think that Mia wasn't prepared. That's all I'm gonna say. Mia was not prepared for what she got. That's it. So that's it.
She wasn't. That's the thing about a thing. Now, Mariam, you're going to come in next, but to the point, and again, I could be wrong, but to me, Candace seems like a natural. Candace in a different life could have been a freestyle rapper. Candace's mind is quick, and she be coming down with verses. I do think that Mia writes her reads down and she rehearses them, and I think her mind locks up when she gets emotional. And then later on, that's why she's Twitter fingers. Candace will let you have it with her, at that moment. Like in that moment, she will let you feel it. So
can I say this too? I was going to say this is what I've always said too, is that even though I love Candace, I've never what I don't like about some people across YouTube itself is that they will love Monique or anything that mention that name, and they see only the right with her. I love Candace. I don't only see the right with Candace. I'm not going to say she was the worst thing in the world, and she's ever going to take the spot. That's only for Ashley in my heart. But I'm going to say that Mia unfortunately wasn't prepared for what she got. I think that Mia was messy. I think somebody said, well, you don't want to mess with Candace because she's going to get you. I think it was Wendy who said that. And this is what happened. And maybe Mia learned a lesson. You know what? Don't be tricked by producers to go after this girl's. I think come on, Miss Tisa. Come on, Miss Tisa. I don't. Yeah, I think she learned a lesson. I think she learned a lesson. Don't be tricked by anybody because, that's what I think. I think that Mia got. Go ahead.
No. So I just the thing and answer this question for me. Here's the thing. I love Candace. Do I think Candace went too far? This is just my opinion. Yes and no. Yes, she was very vicious because at a certain point I saw all of Mia's childhood injuries come out, her subconsciousness, the way she doesn't like being excluded, the way she's not really quick, the way she has this facade, but it's protect how sensitive she is. But also, this is why I know, and again, it could just be the way I was raised, that's why you don't get in the middle of people's families' arguments. What did Mia, listen, Candace's husband being broke is a sensitive issue. And she saw the producers trying to make a storyline. And also, who wants somebody laughing at the person that you love? Do you know what I'm saying? Man or wife. So the fact that you pulled up on the scene, like you said, and I believe this, Mel, being a puppet for production,
Absolutely.
And Mia was like, I'll get to the bottom of this. So,
come on now.
Is Chris broke?
Mm-hmm.
Really? What's his 1040 look like? She got jumped in that sauce because she was being, I agree with you, production hyped her up. And Mia was like, I'll just cut through this. And Miss Dorothy's talking. But now, this is why they say don't ever get in the middle of a family argument, because now all that heat and anger Candace has to her mom for embarrassing her, you're going to catch it, Mia, because you stepped into the middle of it. So I can understand where this anger is coming from. She went too far, but honestly, I thought Mia went too far by even talking to her mom. I don't care that her mom was talking. Mel, that is like my mom like talking about me down like a dog and you sitting down and having a drink with her. You know what I'm saying? And asking her questions. It's just like, it's a little, what did you expect to happen? That's like somebody sitting down next to your mate and being like, "So tell me about Mel. Really? Oh, he don't be cleaning. He doesn't. Oh, and I don't even know you, and I'm doing it." We all know that the reason she was asking and doing it, like you said, was to get dirt, to embarrass Candace later on in the season. She didn't have good intentions. You know what I'm saying? So Mel,
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I was gonna say one last thing before I give it to Mariam is that I think it was Candace. Excuse me, it was Robin and
Okay,
Robin.
so you guys, welcome back to. Hold on, guys. I actually had to. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say Robin and Ashley's scene where she was also saying, you know what, I don't agree with this, and she didn't know, and I thought that was interesting. But I think that I just think that Candace and Mia were cool until Mia flipped the script and then Candace went on the warpath a little bit. That's just what that's what happened. That's it. That's all it was. It's unfortunate Wendy couldn't get in there and say, okay, girl, you know what? This woman's mother was in jail. This is what the drug is, but she didn't. So it is
Candace
what it is.
wasn't anybody.
But she wasn't. Remember, hold on. Fox Counselor says next topics. Y'all don't know these people. Fox Counselor, this is Recaps and Rants, Real Housewives of Potomac. We are talking about their fictionalized characters.
That's all we do on YouTube. Miss Fox.
Miss Fox, this is the whole YouTube chat. This is all we do. We're discussing the show. We're breaking it down like highlight. We don't know Donovan McNabb or Steph Curry, but people still talk about the sports. And honestly, Fox Counselor, you might want to come back on a different night because that's all we're talking about today.
That's it.
Fictionalized characters. Bravo pays people to do that. Anyway, I just want to clarify that for you, Miss Fox Counselor. Sorry about that. But I will say, so Mariam, William, what do you think about this?
Okay, listen. I am not saying that Candace is not smart. Yes, she's smart, but I wish she used her wit and her quickness in a nicer way. I feel like you all tell me she didn't know. Now she knows, and I'm not talking on the show. Now she knows outside the show, and she still doubles down. And the way
what do you mean?
What I mean is like now the show is taped and it's over, right? When they come on the after show, the housewives to talk, she doesn't show any type of remorse towards calling Mia's mom low budget. No remorse. She's doubling down. And this is after the season. This is why I'm saying that the hell, of course she knows. Everybody does their homework on each other. And for me, here's the thing. She's a grown woman, Candace, right? Yeah. So why go after someone's mom because you don't know their story? And when Wendy gave you that hint that the history with her mom, Candace completely deflected from that and overlooked. She wasn't curious. She didn't show any curiosity. Anybody would say, what is up with her and her mom? And that would have been a great moment if Wendy said, this is she wasn't raised by her mom and she was taken away from her mom, but Candace, she never shows remorse and she kept doubling down. Like when she goes, yeah, you were talking with my mom. Mia, what she did was wrong. She was doing the dirty work of Giselle and Robin because they both had a lot to say also, not only during the video, but even before to Ashley. They had a lot to say, but Mia was the only one who caught the wrath. And, like she wasn't calling Miss Dorothy any name. She was talking to her. And it's very different. I'm not condoning her fishing for information, but they're in this show where this is how they give us scenes by talking about and trying to know about each other's lives, even when it's Yeah, so there you go.
But
so
Mariam, if you call my man or my mom and started fishing for information, that's why I stay out of drama, you would be dead to me. Because it's like you're only trying to hurt me and you're going too personal.
I get it. I'm not saying that she needs to love her and Mia is right. I'm not saying.
No, but let me ask you this question, Mariam. No, but let me ask you this question. To your point that when she heard a little clue about Mia's mom, she should have been like, oh, yes. I don't know. No, here's my whole thing. Could Candace, because I see a little bit of my personality in Candace as far as I'm super easygoing, I'm super forgiving, but when I know for a fact that someone tried to hurt me or cross me, that's when I'm just sitting there, and you could be on fire and I'll be like, I'm not going to set you on fire, but don't even ask me to spit on you to put the fire out. So when you say, well, how come she didn't show me a caring? But hold on, I just want to ask you this question. When you say, how come she couldn't show me a caring, do you expect someone that after you first tried to take a swipe at them, and the fact that Mia missed is of no consequences. You tried to take a swing at me and you missed, and now you want me to care about what you're like? Do you think that's fair?
What I'm saying common decency. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You want to have a problem with Mia? Attack Mia only. You don't need to attack her mom. That's what
if she had a problem with Chris, but if she had a problem with Candace, why didn't she just go attack Candace? Why does she need information on Chris?
She are fair game because they are in the show. That's my thing.
Mia's mom is on the show.
But never with Candace. She wasn't in the same scene. But even though, just because she's in the show, she's, come on, that's wrong. Attacking someone's mom.
I actually agree. So Mia's mom isn't being messy on the show.
For
Mia's
me,
mom is telling a story.
You know, don't come after them. And where was the wrath towards Giselle and Robin? Why only Mia? Because she was
Mariam?
Where she came from, how she met G. For me, that's cowardness because she's the easy target. I would respect Candace to go after the source, Giselle and Robin. But it was all on Mia, and then she keeps doubling down. Yeah, your mom is low budget. Like, that's a mother, that's a person. Talk about your life is low budget, your relationship is low budget with your husband. But why say about her mother? Because as we know that she was raised in foster care, that is wrong. That's plain wrong.
And if I could just interject, even at this point, Wendy didn't know about Mia's upbringing because she was shocked. And Wendy was trying to tell, well, hold on. But Wendy was trying to tell, from what I remember, Wendy was trying to tell Candace, but Candace had an axe to grind about that. Now, listen to me on this one. But let me ask you a question with this. So we have, there goes Mia's self-esteem in the ambulance because Candace murdered her tonight. So listen, I think that, yes, Candace went too hard and too strong. But I think that the way Candace had to fight for her relationship with Chris, with her mom, and in public, and the Green Eyed Bandits, and everyone else, could it be that Candace values her marriage and everything as sacred as Mia looks at? Now, I know it's different. And also, this is the other question I want to put to you, Mariam. You know, it was wrong, but I mean, how would you have reacted if I had gone and went out to drinks with your ex and was asking business about you, about how much you make and who's supporting you and where's your money come from?
I would. My problem would be with you, not with your mother, Tisa.
Oh.
I wouldn't mention your mom.
I
would not mention your mom.
And then I tried to spread it.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Oh, well.
I feel like I don't know. There's like she can attack the same thing. She can say, she could have came up with like, why you're asking how much my husband makes, how much you make for being married to your husband, because we know the type of relationship you guys have. For me, it's wrong to bring her mom, period, end of story. And she knew it would hurt. And for me, it's like if she has, I'm not saying her marriage shouldn't be sacred. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that don't attack her mother and keep doubling down on that. And she repeated it 3, 4, 5 times because she knows it hurts. Mia did not call Miss Dorothy anything. That would be the only equal that I would say, okay, you called her mother first. Then Candace did, but she didn't disrespect Candace's mom. And Candace's mom, she just wanted people to talk with her. She tried to talk with Karen, and Karen tried to she talked with Giselle. She talked with Robin. She talked with everybody. This is what's happening with Candace, and I know you and I agree on that. It's misdirected anger towards her mother. And Mia,
you don't get involved in people's arguments with family. You don't get involved.
I will respect Candace if she went like, because I think the red lipstick Lily, she said, oh, but we can't blame Giselle and Robin for Mia's mess. Mia is messy, but Mia is being puppeteered by Giselle. Giselle is keeping like, it's very odd for me how she's still friendly with Mia, even after Mia flip-flopped on her. I'm not saying Mia is not a flip-flopper. She is. I'm not saying she doesn't lie. She does. I'm not saying she has a wonderful marriage. I don't think she does. No money on earth is worth being treated like that, in my opinion. But it seems like she's okay with that. So if she's happy with that, I will love it. Well, who am I?
Okay, Mariam, listen.
Don't come after the mother. I feel like that is
Mariam. All right, so that's where you draw the line in the sand. The mothers. Let's let
and kids.
And kids, of course. Let's let QK weigh on this. Before QK starts, I will just say this. Because my family is functional to a certain extent, I'm sure there's a few Thanksgivings that the table got flipped and everybody left in a bad mood. But for the most part, we're a functional, loving bunch, right? So when you attack my family, it's never really gonna sting as much as it can, because at the end of the day, we're more functional than not, right? But holidays, it's hovering right above there, right? So I do know what it is, where it's like, okay, so you can't really say that my mom didn't love me and blah 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 blah, but I sacrificed for my work. I have a family. There's people I love. There's other things that I pour my heart and my self-worth and my self-esteem into. And if you attack that, I will react in a way that you just attack something that I have my heart and love and self-esteem in. Now, again, Mariam, to your point, the mother thing was a low blow. It was not Candace's finest hour. But again, I just don't understand. That's why they tell you don't get into people's.
It was Candace around the clock. When is she kind? When is she kind?
Okay, point taken. So QK, jump in here and then we'll go to Val, then Justice.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I'll try and keep it as quick as I can. I hate when no one else can speak, and that's no shit to Miriam or you, Tisa. It's just that there's loads of people in this chat. Anyways, it's quite funny how two of the pageant queens were always expired. They wanted world peace, and the most shadiest women in this group of women.
True.
I love Candice in a way. She's got two sides to her. And I thought, Candice, just don't drop the ball and fall into that and take it to another level. It's just come on, girl. I'm trying to root for you here. Just don't drop the ball, because it's easy to pull you apart. And she fails every single time. She's like, girl, just... She'd be so good if she just didn't cut that bit deeper. It's just someone comes over to you, pees on your leg, and she's got a crap on the head, basically. It's just there's levels of shade, and if she'd be so much more classier if she didn't do the low blows, and she just went for what she actually means. I mean, she was talking about her leaky lips and a bodged clitoris. I'm just girl, come on, Candice, we can do better than that. This is high school stuff. But like I say, it's reality TV. It's not that serious. And it doesn't mean to say that two people have to be sitting arguing with each other. I thought I was in a Tekken match here. It's Tessa versus Miriam. It's just come on, it's not that serious. It's lighthearted reality TV.
If we don't
this is the way we talk. We're passionate people. You should work with a big family.
Me and this chick were
across the dinner table.
That's right. Can we free Ray from Karen being her servant? This man is old. He needs to be in retirement. All he is her luggage man.
Listen, everybody in the chat, I want you guys to know my name is Tisa. I grew up surrounded by big family. We had to yell across the table, and it was pounding the table, and you don't understand, and let me talk. And then everybody just laughed and went and watched TV. I'm passionate. I don't get upset if people defend their views or people are passionate too. I actually expect that. I like that. Now everybody has their own brand of passion.
Lisa, I'm going to hire some bodyguards. I'm going to hire Mama Dot with the brick in her bag. I'm going to hire Mama Joyce, and I'm also going to hire Mama D from Dallas. These are going to be my bodyguards when I walk in the streets. Next caller, because everyone wants to have a chance of speaking. Come on.
Yeah, listen, I feel like Candace's mom, she's been a target on the show, but I love her. But she's been a target, not really, nobody was talking bad about her, because everybody was saying, who is everybody? Let's go back to Giselle and Robin. They were like they were going with it. They talk
All
about it.
right. No, that's a good point, Mariam.
Didn't start with Mia. Mia came to this storyline, and you know what? Mia's facing the heat because she chose to do Giselle's dirty work.
All right, that's a good point. Now let's let Judgy Justice, Val, Kaya, I think Lorinda's not here. Let's let you guys weigh in, and then we're gonna move a little further on. We're gonna start with Mel. Go on, Judgy Justice. Did you want to weigh into on this?
Yes. So my thing about it is
Oh, and
that
ACE, of course. Go on.
did AC want to go before me? Because I know he was on here
Go on,
before.
Judgy Justice. So I'll message you guys. But so go on, Judgy. I'm sorry.
Oh, no breaking. So one thing was that I think that Mia didn't even apologize for like, oh, I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to ask. Like, because one thing that I've learned in like business is that you can always be like, oh, I thought I was supposed to ask, to talk to someone to get help for this, or something like that. And it just that shows like why she's not a good business woman in a sense, because you can play those situations off and get out of them. She couldn't. And she decided, oh, this is my stance on the show to like keep myself relevant. And now you're upset because people are saying something about your personal things. But again, nothing's personal anymore because you're on reality TV.
I think I'm more upset than Mia. I think I am.
No, I mean, like, now listen, if someone came to me, kept saying like, your mom a low budget, your mom a low budget, she only got one more time to say my mom a low budget before she ended up in the hospital with high and over budget hospital bills.
So what if I'm saying you're low budget?
I mean, you can talk about me all day.
If I keep coming at you saying you low budget, you low budget, you low budget.
You can talk about me all day, but like for me, like for us, I grew up raised that you don't talk about like people's moms. But you can talk about me all day. You can talk about what I wear. You can talk about
so Val, if I come
my boob, one boob bigger than the other. You can talk about all that all day.
Okay, but what do you care about in your life? What are you proud of? What are you proud of and nervous on right now? Let's just say it's a music video and your music career and everything's riding and you're pouring in every penny you have to make it a success. And this video, you guys max your budget out and you want this to be a success. People are waiting for you to fail. This is your heart and soul. We've all been there with our career, right? We have all been there where this is like, it's make or break time. And I come and the video's not even done. And I don't know how it's going to do. And I keep saying, Val, that shit was low budget. It was low budget. It was tacky. You're low budget. You're not going to. You would just be like, okay, haha, I don't care.
No, I'm not saying what Candace did was wrong. I'm just saying that the way it just kept continuing in this scene, because when she did it initially, I was like, all right, that's fine. She walked into that one.
I think,
but to follow her around the house and then to keep going, that's going to edge someone on to a point that you can't really say no longer that this was about the music video. This is now a personal thing.
Now I have a question.
You're not going to follow me 2 flights down steps around a kitchen ottoman. I'm not a, you know what I mean? The kitchen table.
But that's not what happened. Mia walked by her and said these broke ass bitches with bass in her voice. Now we're not in high school anymore. But hold on, Mariam. Let me just say this: we're not in high school anymore. But if somebody walked by me in high school saying broke ass bitch with her face and face, the next thing you would have saw would have been my hand connecting with her face while she was talking to me and my girlfriend. I'm mature now. But when I was in high school, I was quite the little rumbler. The next thing you would have saw would have been hold on, Mariam, would have been my hand connecting with your face while you were walking through. Because who are you talking like that? Now I'm mature now. And I know to use my words. But then another thing, when she went downstairs, Mia. And again, I'm not excusing anyone's behavior, but let's just remember what happened. Mia went to Ashley, her sworn enemy, and started talking shit loudly, saying,
no, actually asked what happened.
Let me finish. This bitch, this bitch, this bitch. And that's when Candace said, I'm right
It's
here.
right here. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you're gonna talk about me, at least invite me into the conversation. Mia
Okay.
was being messy, and Candace
I-
invited herself to the
but
conversation.
But the thing,
Ah,
but
Miriam, hold on, Mariam. Candace invited herself to the conversation. I'm not saying they were right or wrong. I'm just saying this is a series of events. Mia started talking shit to Ashley right there while Candace was listening and was talking about it loud. Candace said, if you're going to talk about me, at least include me in the conversation.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's true.
You see?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So,
But that's
but
you're
but that's a
always
double edged sword.
Why did? Yeah,
But
I forgot.
That was
Yeah.
a double edged sword. She was talking about her just in the room upstairs. She didn't include Mia in that conversation at all. She was talking about G and stuff.
Well, hold on,
So
you guys.
it doesn't work the same
wait,
breath, just the same way that she doesn't want people to talk about. Okay, just
Tisa,
No, not you, Val. No. Val, not you. Sorry, Miriam, not you guys. I'm just trying to say it doesn't work the same way. I understand that. But talking about somebody up in a room where they cannot hear you, you cannot actually say is socially equivalent than going and standing 5 feet away from
okay.
someone and saying, this bitch, That
That's
is
true.
antagonistic.
Yeah.
It's antagonistic.
Clearly Mia wanted
Moment.
Candice to hear, but
That's
here's the
right.
thing: you just said, oh, Candice is not in good spirits with Mia. Why would she care to ask about her mom? About her mom when Wendy hinted, but then they were having that argument and they left all the room because she was dragging her in the room, correct? And then it came down.
They were having that argument,
that-
and
Yeah,
Mia
they were
stood
having
by
an
what she
argument up there.
said. And Mia stood by what she said. Mia still did not apologize.
Yeah,
So
I
if
know,
you
but
don't
both
apologize
of
to me, I'm
them
still gonna be coming for you.
both of them were coming up for each other. But now my question for you is, like, if someone keeps like going after you and like talking about your family and walking behind you, okay, then what if, let's say, Mia's gonna, like, is this like now a tactic that Candice is trying to get physical reaction from others to cry, poor me, didn't she learn her lesson? Come on.
Maybe. Okay, so ACE, jump in here. What's your opinion?
All right. I think there's a lot going on because I sort of do feel like Candace is on guard since last season. I think that she's coming in probably trying to compose herself, but there's a few things because I think Mia started it by being messy, but also Mia is kind of an easy read, and I think Candace knows that. So even though like the your mama joke or the yeah, when she said like, oh, your mama's low budget, I think to her that was just her like quote unquote stooping to her level. And the fact that Mia's just doubling down, Candace is like, you know what? I'm just gonna cut this off right here, right now. I'm not gonna give you another opportunity to come for me after this. I'm gonna set you straight right now. I do think that she went a little too far. And I love Candace, but I don't know. I'm still on her side though, and yeah.
I love that you're like, she went too far, but you know what? I mean, I'm still on her side. You know what? That's one thing I can say, AC. I love your honesty. I mean, everybody on this panel is honest, but I love at the end of the day when you're like, okay, the person could have been right or wrong, but I still like this person because sometimes in life, my mom always said, somebody can not like you, and no matter what you do, they're going to be there for you. And when someone doesn't like you, you can do everything in the world and they're still going to find a reason to be annoyed with you. So it's one of those things where you have to realize it's like these prototypes of relationships. Candace embodies certain people that we have met, right? Because again, when we talk about these shows, take a step back and you guys all know, we're talking about archetypes. Does anybody really know Mia or really know Candace? No, but we are talking about the archetypes they represent, and it's fascinating. And
Right.
yeah, I do think that the Candace hate, the Mia, like whatever, it's certain archetypes that have rubbed us the wrong way, or we see the negative consequences of it. Wait, sorry. So Val,
Tisa, sorry to interject. Why isn't anyone talking about Dot openly willing to spill all the beans when Mia's asking her these questions?
well, listen, you know
What
what?
normal parent would go around to a stranger and just spill everything
Okay,
and
but
give
can
all
you?
the information?
All right, but you know, to that point, QK, you make an interesting point because this is the way I look at it. Mia's mother is dealing with addiction, right? Candace's mom is also toxic in different ways, more socially acceptable ways, but she's very, very destructive. I looked at what Mia did and going to her mom when you know Dot has no problem disrespecting her daughter. And this is after her daughter was beat up last year and had all that trauma, and people said, but your mom even said you needed your butt kicked. Your mom, like they used her mom as a weapon, right? I would look at that as me going up to Mia's mom with some drugs and being like, hey, do you want to smoke this weed? No, come on, it's fun. That's
A mother's an adult though, and she knows when to keep her
so's
mouth
Mia's
shut.
mom. So's Mia's mom. So's Mia's mom. I mean,
But
honestly,
Mia's mom hasn't dissed Candy.
no. But no, listen, QK, I see what you're saying, but I look at it as like, to me, I don't want to talk about Candace's mom or Mia's mom. So I wasn't even being flippant. But to me, there is a toxic level to it. And I think to engage in that is almost like walking up to a parent that has a gambling addiction or a son. You're giving them a platform and you're fueling the toxicity. And you're getting inside of a very to me, what looks like a toxic relationship. So again, Candace can't control her mom, just like Mia didn't cut her mom off, and she's trying to forge a relationship and love her, even though she's been through hell and back with her mom. Candace is doing the same thing to her mom. Her mom hurts her. Her mom makes her cry. Her mom disrespects her. Her mom is dismissive and belittles her. But that's still her mom is trying to do it.
Candice, when she looks back at this and she's on this reunion, she needs to call out her mother for willingly opening her mouth and getting this addressed. And she needs to really speak to her mother and say, look, this is what you said. Not a mother, like a mother was so backpedaling and throwing it on Mia. Mia can say anything, but it's down to her mother to open her mouth. Everyone knows that in families. If they're willing to open their mouth against their own daughter, there's an issue. There's a major issue with them.
No, I agree with you. There's something toxic there, and Candace needs to. Before we go back out, we're gonna let let's see, Val. Is she here? Well, hold on, Mariam. Let's let Kia pop in there because QK, you make some good points, and I do agree.
Yeah.
Candace needs to address her mom. I don't know if it should be on the reunion national thing, but I think her mom should apologize to her on the reunion for what she did. You see what I'm saying? I would have the private conversation, and then you come on and you apologize for embarrassing me and say some good things about Chris. But Kaya, why don't you weigh in?
Okay. For me personally, I get confused when people say Candace goes too far, in the sense that people have already written to her about body shaming. So if she does talk about Mia, can she talk about her body? Like, I just. No, I'm being serious because I'm just kind of like, I truly don't know then where are the lines for Candace, because if she does talk about Mia, then people were upset that she called her handsome. People were upset about her talking about her big feet. People would be upset about her talking about her face. Someone brought up her talking about her lady area.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out then like what is there to speak on, especially since it's like it's not Candace's fault that Mia is an easy read. Like it's not. And for me personally, it's because like the whole point is they're going to be easy reads because, as I've already stated before, they don't know each other, and Mia started this mess. So since I don't know you, I'm going to be looking at superficial things. As Mariam brought up the after show, it's not that Candace necessarily doubled down. Candace said there were so many things I wanted to say, but you know what? I'm trying to be different, so I just said your mama.
Nice.
No, that's what Mariam, she said. I just like, your mama. It's a your mama joke. And let's not act like she just kept repeating it. She said I think 1 or 2 times, which could be a little bit much. But then after that, she started going after how she met G and her being a night crawler and where's your pimp. That's what she said. That was most of that argument after the initial second. I said your mom's slow bedtime. And as Candace said, in the bedroom. Because also I have an issue with, I don't know how white I'm supposed to be with Mia when Mia keeps trying to play off that she approached Dorothy. Yes, Dorothy should not have opened her mouth, but it's not like Dorothy approached Mia. Mia approached Dorothy and asked those two questions.
So Mariam, I love you. Mariam, I'm going to hear from Kyle.
Yeah.
Please let me finish. Please let me finish. Totally, Dorothy has a problem with willingly offering up that information, but Mia was the first person to walk her big feet over there and ask those 2 questions. And the fact is, at this point in time, Candace really only knows about what Mia said. And Mia can be a puppet for Giselle and Robin all she wants to, but Mia's still the one who opened her mouth, so she's the one I'm going after. Point blank, period. I can't see you all are in a clique and one of you does something, but I'm supposed to know who's the mastermind, so I can't go after you. That If you have the balls to go do it, then you have the balls to keep coming after you. And I don't like the fact that Mia keeps trying to cover up that she was being shady and messy with her being a businesswoman. Because as I already stated, Candace already told them in Williamsburg that Chris is her manager and he's not getting paid. She told that to the ladies at the table. So why is Mia opening up her mouth and walking her
point.
Yes,
Yeah,
and walking
Kylie's
her
on
big
point.
feet.
Come on now.
That's why I said, like, I wanted to talk because we need to, like, walking her big feet over to Dorothy asking a question that she already knows the answer to. It's because she wanted a moment with Dorothy to be messy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's all that was. So I don't really know where this is supposed to go when we don't know each other, and all I can do is read you based on what you've given me. And what you have given me is this questionable relationship with your husband. And I was trying to be nice and just do a your mama joke, but it's not my fault that you were in foster care and your mama was your mama.
Oh
It's
Lord,
not my
come on
fault.
now. Whoa.
Wow.
Come on, come on, girl. Come on, girl. Come on.
What is
You know,
saying?
people are like,
Candace, is
no,
that you?
please let me finish.
I,
'Cause
right?
Mia.
Right?
Wait, hold on. Let's let Kyle finish.
Yeah,
Let me
please,
finish,
please,
please.
please. Come
Because
ahead,
the
girl.
fact is, Candace was addressing her in the bedroom, right? They were talking back and forth. It wasn't too loud. And then even Ascala brought up, okay, why are you doing this? And then Mia wanted to disengage from the conversation, so she answered the phone of her friend. And that's when the rest of the ladies got up and walked out of the room. Mia was the one still in the room. Then Mia got up and she walked in between the ladies and then said, oh, I can't hang out with these broke bitches. And then everyone walked downstairs. It's not like Candace was chasing after Mia. They were already on their way downstairs. Mia
Right.
walked in between them and then said something shady, and then later on lied and said she didn't say it.
Right.
So that's my point. And then you go down, we're all downstairs, and you can still talk to me, but instead you go to Ashley when we were in the room together to talk mess loudly. What am I supposed to do right now? What am I supposed to do right now? I'm going to confront you again because when I was trying to talk to you, a little sternly, but still calmly, face to face, you wanted to take a phone call. Now you're going to Ashley, someone you know I don't like, and you're trying to talk about me like I'm not there. I'm going to address you.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
And so I'm going to talk about how you are a pimp and a night caller, and he met you on the strip club.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's treating you like
Oh,
you're
girl.
his candy and letting him go.
Come on,
And
Miss.
you're supposed to be going out there
Wow.
picking up treats for him to bring back home.
Okay.
So it's not my
Come
fault.
on,
It's
Kaya,
not
turn
my
it
fault.
up. I love
Uh-oh.
this
Come
girl.
on.
She said
Whoa.
she's
Whoa.
not the CEO.
I get
She's
your
the manager. She's supposed to be the manager. She makes just as
Mia.
much money as what Candace's mother, father, and stepfather spent on her whole wedding. So let's not act like this new little rich thing is for a purpose. She is purposely walking around trying to belittle that woman. And she's doing that on purpose because she's watched the show, and that's what she said, spoiled brat. I think Candace is reading the energy she's giving her. I've been nice to you. Why are you doing all this? And so Candace is making sure to check her because you're not going to treat me like Giselle and Robin because, bitch, you just got here.
Uh-oh. Girl.
Okay.
You know what,
Wow.
though? Hold on, before anybody interjects.
Jeez.
Kaya, you actually make some good points and you
Yes, she
pieced
did.
together some things. You made some really good points. Mia
Wow.
did watch the show. She knew where all of Candace's soft spots were. She knew what she was doing. I do believe that this is the thing. Candace, because she is smart, saw how malicious Mia was trying to be, what she was trying to do, and she decided to check her. And that low budget thing, I agree when people say, oh, well, why didn't Candace pull back? But if I saw I was making Candace that mad with my low budget con, you're right. Why didn't Mia pull back? Because Mia was the wrong person. Again, Candace answered, I forgot. Candace had already told them Chris wasn't being paid. But she settled up to Miss Dorothy, tried to be nice to her, tried to do this all so she could get, so she could get, also she could get more information to be shady. You know, and yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. You made some good points.
She made
get
some.
it.
Well, I was gonna say she made some really good points about the thing. I want to say, I want to hear. I know Mary going to come. I want to say this one thing, and Tisa said this too. When they went in the bedroom, yes, it Mia was not prepared for Candace at all. But when she left, and the girls, Scholar and Candace in the hallway, that comment about them being broke bitches, that was also not an appropriate comment. So now they're going downstairs. We're in a different scene. They with their husbands trying to be copacetic, and she's talking to Ashley. Well, she could talk to whoever she wanted to, but to talk about the fight and also call her name, that will escalate it. So yeah, and that part. So I forgot that there was a couple of parts to the fight in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Mia wasn't ready, but the other part of the fight, she escalated different things downstairs. So yeah, and then the food she threw. Yeah. So yeah.
So both of them escalated it. Both of them played the thing. Now somebody actually said something, and I find this laughable when somebody says I don't argue with people. If Candace came at me like that, she would have gotten knocked out real quick. All right,
Oh,
Cherise.
here we go again.
Counter, but here's the thing. When I would counter, you're saying that the people that use those words, because if I was still in high school and somebody walked by me saying these broke bitches with bass in their voice, guess what? Their head would have gotten knocked back too. So you can't listen. Candace argues because we're all at a certain point we use our words. If somebody tried to throw a hit at me now, I would be shocked, like, you animal. What? Savage. Take her away. Like, literally, it's how I make my money. Get out of here, right? But I could handle myself. But I think that we're all at the age, and Candace is in her 30s. Mia, I don't care what anybody says, is in her
46.
40s, going into 50s.
Oh, girl.
We're all, no, but what I say is not about beauty, not being ages, but life changes you things. Life calms the savage beast. Life makes you be like, you know what?
We hope so.
You want to eliminate negative people. You don't want to engage, because for someone to get that much out of you, I don't know.
Okay, wait. First of all, Mia was the first one to arrive at the music video. She was there. And she was the only one who didn't go sit in the car like Giselle did.
But she was here for an assignment.
Let me just say this.
Because they were actually given the time to come. So she purposely came early.
She came early. She was the ops. Of course she was the only one.
She was investigating.
She got there super early. She came from Baltimore. All the way to PG, Baltimore.
Oh, Lord. Okay, Miss Mariam.
That's like a 45-minute drive to an hour.
Pointing out the obvious. She was the first one to be there.
Okay.
Nobody was there. Usually when there's a music video, there is a setup, and there are a lot of things that went down, and I felt bad for Candace. And to be honest with you, if Candace did not go after me as mom, I would be, and you hear here first, on Candace's side. As much as I don't.
Oh my God.
I kind of agree with Mariam on that one.
This is the thing. Yeah.
Someone hit replay on that.
I will say
that.
No, I love it.
If Candace didn't go after me as mom, I would say, yeah, she came after my craft. I'm going to go after her. But Candace, she chose the easy target. She only targeted Mia. She completely did not say anything to Giselle and Robin, who were saying a lot. Her mother she wanted to talk to everybody.
Yeah,
and
that's
Mia,
true. The mother.
Yes, she went there and she talked with mom. Should she talk with her about the paying, knowing the answer already? No. But for me, it's like Candace, she needs to be careful. And when I say careful, I'm not saying be careful, Candace. My point is, you can't say just physical touch is it's the no. When someone keeps like going after someone, you don't know how they will react. You just don't know. And that you don't know when it's gonna be. Maybe usually I would
then I have a question.
But it would be a bad day, and then I would react. For me, it's like, don't go after her mother. You had plenty of material.
Physical touch was not really what people last year. They said it was justified. So we never really had a person say, not you, Mariam, but just in general. They always said they told Monique, you are justified. You should have done this. So we never really had that kind of, criticism with Monique last year.
Dragged me.
Well, also,
but my thing is,
if it felt that way.
What Kaya's saying. What are you saying?
Okay.
If Mia gets to stand by what she said, why can't Candace stand by what she said? Mia, again, she was very intentional in what she was doing. And I'm sorry. I think quite a few of us are Black. She said a Your Mama joke. Again, it's not her fault that she's an easy read in Atlantic dead center. But you intentionally went to my mom. You don't know what kind of problems that could have caused. You don't know, even if she didn't watch the show, as we all said that Candace didn't know about her mother. Even Ashley acts like, in the after show, Ashley said, well, I didn't know about her mother. And then in the same breath, well, Candace, you can't tell me she didn't know. Ashley, if you didn't know, how
she did not. She did know. We know she did know.
No, she did not. Ashley didn't even know. The only people who did know initially were Giselle and Robin, and then Wendy just found out.
And
Ashley didn't know after show. Ashley, even on the after shows, can I please finish my statement? You talk, I would like to talk too.
But Mariam, hold on. I want to finish your statement, Kaya. Sorry.
with the whole point of just kind of like, yes, so yes, Candace didn't know. Ashley even said she didn't know. I don't think it's fair to be like, everyone else gets to not know, but for some reason, Candace is the person who's supposed to know about Mia. I find that weird, especially since she hasn't had a one-on-one conversation with Mia. We just seen her in group situations. And everyone in the group, except for the people who had a dinner with her, which was Giselle and Rhop and Mia, that I don't understand why we are trying to go so hard as Candace should have known. And my thing is,
I can keep secrets, right?
Let me finish,
keep secrets all the time. They don't talk.
Hold on, Mariam. Wait, stop. Hold on, Mariam. Let Kaya finish, and then you can do the rebuttal. So go on.
Yeah. So my thing is, okay, let's say both of them didn't know about each other's mother situations.
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of situation Candace has going on with her mother for you to go be digging with for information. She said some awful things, but Dorothy could have said some even worse things, and that could have been a whole extra situation. Now Candace has to go and have this whole conversation with her mother off camera because, sorry, I think she was my mom, but I'm not blasting her out in front of people, regardless if I like them or not. So now she has to have a whole conversation with her mom about how her mom is treating her and her husband behind the cameras, and now in front of the cameras has to either get her mom to apologize some way somehow or have to explain why her mom did all of this. And the fact is, we don't know if Dorothy would have just kept her mouth shut if Mia never opened the door to run through. That is my point. So they both start off on racist and they didn't know where it was going to end. It's not our fault that one was harder than the other.
So to Kaya's point, and Mariam, I'll let you have the rebuttal, but to Kaya's point, I agree. It seems like there's a common theme with Candace where everybody starts off like, yeah, come on, square up. And then Candace goes Mike Tyson on them. And they're just like, no fear. You know, Candace turns into an MMA. They think they're boxing, and Candace starts doing MMA, like the mixed martial arts on them. And then they get mad about it. And then they're just like, oh, you went too far. But if you know somebody habitually goes too far, why are you always like, all right, square up? Because I agree with that. Again, I was raised, you can sit down with me and talk about your mother like a dog. I will never open my mouth to say anything because it's your mom. And next week, next month, next year, y'all gonna be okay. You can talk about your sister, your brother, your cousin. Family does things that are less than nice, but you never get it because, like you say, Kaya, I agree. It's a good point. You never know everybody's family's relationship. You don't know Candace's real relationship with her mom. We see that Dorothy does to me destructive things that Candace has to accept. But I agree with that. I agree for a lot of reasons. Go on, Mariam.
Is this Candace still doing therapy? I don't think so, because we're not filming this year the therapy that she needs. And at the end of reunion, wait a second. At the end of reunion last year, like Chris, Monique's husband, said, "You hurt people."
He plays chess. That's what Chris said in his big and tall special. Go on.
Believe me, I can like them, but I don't get everything that they say. My point is, like he said, hurt people hurt, and go get some help. No, she is hurt. You just said that Candace is hurt by her mom, and we can all agree that she is, isn't she?
So Mia's a hurt person too, and so Giselle, and so's Monique, and her. Again,
we're all hurting.
Yeah. Finish
now
my
we all
point.
hurting.
But I'm saying,
everybody hurts.
Come on, Aria. Come on.
Everything is wrong.
Go
on.
No.
If you haven't sang that song, you've never been sad. But go on.
My thing is, for you guys to think for a second that Giselle and Robin did not tell Candace where. Do you guys know them? They are so good in keeping secrets. They only they tell their secrets in the confessionals. Like, you think that Candace?
Why would Robin and Giselle do that for Candace?
What?
Why would Robin and Giselle, that loves to see shit get started and love to throw people under the bus, and they have thrown Candace under the bus quite a few times. So why are Robin and Giselle now going down ride or die, keeping their mouth shut of the fact that they told Candace about me?
That's my point. They are the puppeteers. Just like, remember, no, Tissa, I think I'm having trouble bringing my thoughts out right now.
No, I know what you're saying.
You don't. What I'm saying is that
ran with it.
Robin and Giselle, they rile up both parties against each other, and they stay away. For Candace to go, your mom is low budget, it's because Giselle and Robin told her, and she knew that would hurt Mia. And at the same time, Giselle and Robin, they're the ones who encouraged Mia to go and talk and have a moment with Miss Dorothy. They're doing it again. They are bringing two people to fight, and they're staying out. And where is Candace's wrath against Giselle and Robin? That's
Okay, that's a good point.
But I think that Candace's wrath is in the same place that Monique's wrath was. It didn't go to Giselle and Robin last year, and I think that Candace is not going there too. But I want to say this one thing, that if Candace researched Mia, as we think, if this the idea, if she researched her, do we believe that maybe Mia could have researched Candace? That if she was really a viewer of the show, that she knew about Candace's sort of up and down relationship with her mother, that going to her mother could have been a trigger and it was very painful. Do we believe that Mia researched Candace?
I believe it. I believe it. And also, I don't believe that Candace went ahead and researched Mia, because we didn't know what a Mia was until this year. So there would have been nothing to research.
And let's say this, even if she did, would we have had a deep enough research to be able to pull up charges on her mother or really go into the drug-related thing? We would try to find out that she had a mother and a father, but what we found out that the mother was abandoning her and all these other issues, I think we would have...
It would have been too hard to find out, because Mia probably is carrying her married name, so then you wouldn't have been able to find out her maiden name.
Yeah, so I think
and then you would have to and then you have to figure out what her mom name was. And then she wasn't born in Maryland. She was born in North Carolina. So then you have to go 3 states over to pull information. It doesn't make sense. Oh, sorry.
No problem. Once somebody's 18, to your point, Judgy, I think like those records for foster care or adopt, it's sealed, right? So
yeah, they're sealed. Yeah. So they're not readily available for anyone. The only time like those things would be brought up is if like your juvenile record, and that includes like the foster care stuff, because there's issues with behaviors in foster care. It would be brought up if she committed a heinous crime where they felt that this was a repeative pattern to then get her a higher sentence. And then one thing is that the way Mia acts is of a person that has been in a system, because the way she approached the door wasn't just like she was like she knows that something's about to go down. It's also like she's worried, because she knows that being living in a house with girls, you know that a room of girls sitting in a room and you just had a situation out there, you know they're talking about you. Yeah. It may have been a flashback in her head for somebody busting her upside her head, because I'm sure as Mia is a liar, that she's been hit upside the head for some of the stuff that she does.
You're right. I saw.
That's what it was. I was really scared of a child walking into this room of women. Yeah. And she really does feel very insecure about herself, because for whatever reason, with whatever money G's spending on these G wagons, penthouses, he hasn't spent money in her body. He hasn't spent money in her mind to unlock it for her to realize that whatever went on out there in North Carolina, you need to leave that in North Carolina and move forward.
So that's a wonderful point. I wanted to say this one thing too. Is that what I was trying to make the point is that what I think in general is we cannot say that Satan is the form of Candace, that she is the one that's sort of the evilest person on the show. What I'm saying is that what I'm just saying is that that all the characters are very capable. They're very capable, even Mia. And I think that everything we think Candace can do, I'm sure the other girls can do. So every time we say, can she provoke, what the other girls can be provoking? Can she go under the belt? What other girls can go under the belt?
I agree with you, Mel. Yeah, I agree that Candace overall gets the worst rap.
Yeah, and I think that also
even prior to the Monique situation, she was always getting this bad rap because she would read people and they don't have nothing else to say.
Yeah, but she, what's so funny before that? So I think I talked to Mariam at one point. We were saying about this. So one scene last year, and we don't want to go back last year. There was a scene where they was at Ashley's baby shower, and we saw on film where the cast said, "We are not going to film with Candace." She saw it, And they was the whole thing that Monique was saying was that they did not want to film with me. They teamed up against me to conspire. Well, we saw the conspiring on film last year when it came to Candace, but she didn't go around feeling like, I guess, the victim in some way, that they was, trying to conspire to get off the show. But in what I felt, Monique felt that way, and I think that she had her anger. And to Mary's point, the people who set her up, I felt strongly was Giselle, yes. But she somehow or another wasn't about that life in a way that she can step up to the woman who's a little more bigger and go after those women. She went after the girl who, that she could, the easy target, as people have said, that Candace goes after easy targets. All I'm saying is, in my opinion, that everything that we can blame Candace for, we can also blame the other girls for, even Mia.
Right.
Except for Scholar. Scholar didn't do a damn thing this year.
She ain't. I like a Scala. I hope they bring her back.
She's just been an easy, sweet person. But I think that, so we think that somebody's typing behind a keyboard, researching, and I think that Mia knows who she's dealing with. And I think
the only person who's ever done researching was Ashley. So turn it out. Remember, she had those things for Robin. Yeah. I do believe that. I think that Candace hasn't gone after Giselle and Robin for the things that they've done, just because of what happened last year with them having her back to get Monique, feeling uncomfortable off the show. And now this is supposed to be her redemption season. So going after the OGs wouldn't be beneficial.
Okay, so
try and stay on the show because she has a more. Sorry, I have a little bit of lag.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna bring ACE in. Now, I would say to all of you guys about how come the Green Eyed Bandits are never held accountable. You forget before Monique hit Candace. Candace was hanging on by a string. Monique was actually trying to get her fired and ice her out. I think it's a little bit unrealistic that with the Green Eyed Bandits, Giselle's clearly the producer's favorite. She clearly has a lot of power, and she's an OG just like Karen. Why would you go after an OG and fight that battle that you're most likely going to lose when you can actually go after their puppet and slay their puppet? I would go after the puppet. It's like saying, why wouldn't you go after your boss or the manager that he has picking on you? I'm going to go after the manager because I know that the boss isn't getting fired anytime soon. It's going to be too much of a fight. So let me go after the manager. Cut the puppet.
Or go after their secretary. Unplug their computer.
Listen, ACE, hold on, ACE, jump in here, and then we're gonna have QK. ACE, weigh in on this.
So there's a lot going on, right? So when it comes to the Green Eyed Bandits, Giselle and Robin, I don't know if I give them that much credit. Like, I don't think that they're sitting. I mean, I do think that the dynamics in the group, they kind of have like an influence over the girls, depending on overall, I think they do, but I don't know. I wouldn't go as far to say, like, to Miriam's point, if they're like puppeteering Mia. I think Mia's willingly doing that based on what the producers want and the research that she's done prior to coming on the show. Mm-hmm. And as far as what happened tonight, I think it's Candace did go. What I wish Candace would have done, because I think she was. I love Candace, and I think she was 100%. I think she was right in what she did. I just wish she would have went about it in a different way, because you already know how people are going to perceive you. You already know that you're going to be held to a different standard. I just wish she would have played it a little smarter.
Uh-huh.
I do agree she would have played it a little smarter, but I do believe, here's the thing. If we're at war, and my friends that know me, and even like you guys that know me from YouTube, I'm so chill. I stay out of drama. I used to be a little fighter in high school, but I grew out of it because it's just like, who has the time? I got tired of my hair always getting messed up, just want to sit, I just want to sit pretty. I didn't want to, So God. No, but I'm just saying, it's just like coming, your hair is messed up. You're like, oh my God, let me just sit pretty. But I will say this.
Tisa, were you a member of the Bad Girls Club?
No, I wasn't that bad, but I grew up, I wasn't that bad. No. But no.
Tisa, was that the TV show you won't tell us about?
I know, right? Everybody gives me Bad Girls Club. Was it season 13? No, I'm just saying, where I grew up with my family, my community, that saying violence isn't the answer, but sometimes it is, right? But that's when I was a child. No, but that's when I was a child. We're talking up to junior year or senior year in high school, and then it stopped. Even that was a little bit too old, but that's when it was still on the margins of talk ish, get ish. But once you get older, everyone, even your friends, are looking at you like, what are you doing? Like, that's not what you do. But here's my point. I do know that there is something in my personality and lots of people's personalities, and maybe this is what people don't understand about Candace's personality. Once you become an enemy of me, it is on sight. Do not expect any mercy. Do not expect me to be like, oh my God, tell me more. Don't expect that. I'm not going to go actively go after you, but I don't mess with you. And that's just it. And you could be like, oh, but this was a time to show compassion. For what? You're dead to me. What compassion? I'll leave you alone, and that's your blessing. Just go about your business. So
That's
I think
right.
it's Candace's personality that once it was war and on site, and she
Release the
saw
farmers.
that yo mama stuff really got under her skin, then it's going to be yo mama all day, all day, all day. Because
Exactly.
yeah, that's all I'm saying. So QK, why don't you jump in?
Is it okay?
No,
Right.
it's your turn. Next caller. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, Mel, your turn.
Next caller. No, QK,
I like the sound of my
QK.
voice, QK, if you don't want to talk.
Yeah, QK,
I'm just
QK is making jokes, and then he wants to talk. What's up, QK? Let us know your thing on this.
Right, the situation is they both as bad as each other. Really, it's tit for tat, and that's what it is. It's like the little girls' club. Like she pulled my hair, I pulled hers, rah rah rah, and then they'll make up at the reunion or something, or afterwards, or in the next season. It's just crap. What I'm laughing at is the way the husbands are all going. Right, we all friends, and they're just walking out, and then I've got me upper glasses looking at Mia with the smirk on her face, picking up that lettuce, throwing it at her, and I just like Mia takes me out. I don't think she means to be like really nasty, but it's just like subtle shade, and she has me howling. I'm just laughing me back off. And why isn't the cameras on Dirty Darby? We need to know what he is up to behind Ashley's back. Now, Ashley is there with all those couples. Where is Dirty Darby and Guan? We need to know what Gollum is up to. And we just need to look at these husbands. I mean, look at Chris's reaction, Santa Claus in the making. He's just like, oh God, I can't control my wife. I'll just leave it for her. The same with all the other men. They all just sitting there going, we staying out of women's business.
Mm-hmm.
And then G's lying on the sofa, like clearly
Already hungover.
He's going to be there for days hungover, so he's not even going to remember the weekend. Mia's going to be on her own problems with Ashley for the weekend.
Yes.
I just give an advice to Candace. She needs to know. She needs to understand that Giselle and Robin, they know her weak point, and they are playing with it from afar. Since when Giselle and Robin invite a newbie for a coffee or an afternoon drinks and apps? Never. They did that with Mia. So, and Mia, she wants to be on the show. She's lying left and right, up and down. Guys, I'm not saying Mia, she's like, ooh, she's like thebomb.com. My point is, Giselle and Robin, they are puppeteering the situation again, and it could have escalated had Mia not walked away. If Mia was a different person, we would have 2.0 what happened last season. That's what I'm saying. They know what triggers Candace, and they're giving the information and guidance, instructions, cues, whatever, to the newbies, because the newbies, just like Candace, want to be in the good graces with Giselle and Robin, the newbies too. So my point is, Candace, she needs to know what they want, that reaction from her. So now guess what? Nobody's talking about Pastor Holy Whore anymore. They're talking about Candace's reaction. So Candace, you gave them what they want. So don't do that. Just see what they're doing. They're doing to you again what happened last season. And this thing that you can say whatever you want to say, yes, you can. But also people can react the way they want to react. And to be honest with you, if that happens again, I'm going to be turned off completely from the show. I don't want to see, I want to see light shade. I want to see people like just like, gossip. There's plenty to talk about them. There's plenty about G, the way he, we don't need to go after that. And I'm not saying like she needs to be compassionate about someone that is not being nice to her. Mia's mom did nothing to Candace, and Mia didn't do anything to Dorothy, but did to Candace and her video and Chris.
I agree. Now, to Mel's point, Mel made a really good point, and I think Kaya also backed it up. Everybody actually, but Mel was the first person to bring it up. I do think that this is, and Mariam, to your point, this is the producers meddling. It seems like they're trying to get that high drama that happened between Monique and Candace, but keep it from spilling over into, well, now we got to call insurance territory. But it does seem like you said, and I agree, I like the light shade, but I feel like the Real Housewives franchises consistently feel like they have to bring this like rebel rouser energy to it. And I agree, it goes viral. It gets these viral clips. How many people were commenting on the salad toss? But this seems to be something that is an issue that the Real Housewives are all facing across the board. Those viral moments are enjoyed by people on TikTok or whatever, Twitter or Instagram, but they don't actually come and watch the whole show. So on that point, you're getting like all these like little, and maybe the revenue dollars for that little 30-second clip is worth it, but you're losing your base because your base is like, what is going on again?
Last episode, how fun it was. The one that like last episode when they were like, how funny it was. Like Karen was so funny. Like that, when they were shading each other. Like, we don't need to escalate. Like, come on, you guys. Like,
but you know what I will say though?
They're co-workers. This isn't like most of them aren't real friends. So do they even have that love and compassion for each other where it's genuine? So that, because like basically once they go to war, it's just that's gonna be the energy. That's the culture that it is now. Because it's a group of women that aren't real friends.
Okay, so you know what? To your point, good point, ACE. I think right now there's islands. I actually think Candace and Wendy are very good friends. Maybe not best friends, but definitely loyal to each other.
No, they're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. They hang out outside of the show.
Yeah. Yes. But I even see the way like they kind of, how like you're in the room with your bestie and you might have a plan like, all right, girl, let me talk, but like have my back if somebody like digs into me a little bit too much. They seem to have that, even the way they play the dog mess out of Giselle and Robin at the reasonably shady party. And then a scholar came in with the assist and was like, alley-oop, and that shit was a 3-pointer. It was some of the best shade I've ever seen. That would be lovely. I do believe that Giselle and Robin are true ride or die. And I feel like Giselle is protective over Ashley. I don't feel like I feel like Robin because she's Giselle's friend, and Giselle's like, yo, let's look after Ashley. If Ashley was being dragged, Robin would just look there and smirk. Like, Oddly enough, Karen is on an island by herself, but that's fine because she's the grande dame and she is a pillar of the show. And that's why she's trying to make. Yeah, and that's why she's going for Mia. I'm not Mia. That's why she's going for who is it? Wendy and Escala. But Karen even has a good sense to know that Mia is a little bit too messy for her to put under her cloak, if that makes any sense. So that's where I see the lenses. What do y'all?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, sorry.
I agree with that because actually, when she started the show, she made a point to say on camera that get to know everyone. Be free. You don't have to say that you're with me, kind of thing. Yeah. And I thought that was a little weird because I was like, because I was thinking like, I'm thinking the what is it? Giselle and Karen versus thing, how they like kind of have people on their team in a sense. Yeah. So I was like, why is she like, why is she giving her up? Don't you need another player for dodgeball? But it's like, nope, I don't need that player. So now we're seeing more and more why that conversation took place. And it's like hindsight's like 20. Some of the things that they were doing early on, now I'm seeing how it's playing back with the way they've like done certain things or like treated certain relationship because they already knew that person is who they are.
To your point, Judge of Justice, Karen's been very, very, very careful about how close she lets Mia get to her. She's been very careful about that, hasn't she? So yes. I agree with you. She's been super, super.
But I will say that the first time she's been animated in an argument, the whole season was tonight when she actually jumped in front of Candace, in front of Mia and Candace, whatever, and she was telling Candace not to go about the mother or whatever she was saying. So that was the first time. So I think she does have some kind of protection, or she's protective of Mia. But I do think that the people that she feel looks better on her arm is definitely Escala and Wendy, and those are the ones that she does the charities with. She does all her, all those little side things she does, all those little cute little scenes. It's with her. At the beginning of the series, when we was introduced to Mia, we did see her and Mia together. But as Mia had been on the show, she's been more with Giselle, as Mariam was saying, with Giselle and Rob, and for the most part. And so I think that I
agree.
I actually disagree with you.
Okay, I like it. Come on.
So let's have Judgy.
I think. Oh, sorry.
No, so we're gonna do you, Judgy Justice, and then Kaya weigh in after her. Okay.
So Kaya, I just have one quick point. I just think that she didn't do it because she feels protective of Mia. She knew it looked good for the show for her to be protective of Mia. I don't think that wasn't to me. I don't think that was a genuine reaction, because the genuine reaction wouldn't be, hey, Candace, you need to stop. Get like Captain Savaho. It would have been like more so trying to get Mia to walk away or Candace to walk away. She stayed in that moment for them to keep going and put her hands up like she was gonna separate them, when we know Karen don't lift a box, let alone a dick.
Right.
I want to give the award of best friend to Wendy, because Wendy was trying to have Candace back when she hinted about Mia's mom, because she knew how that would sit with the audience, with everybody. And even Wendy, she never really liked Mia. Do we forget? Don't touch my shoulder, this and that. They don't, but there was a change of heart there when she learned about her upbringing. This is what I would hope to see in Candace, because Wendy also, she never liked Mia. They're not cool with each other at all. But at that moment, she showed compassion. And for me, this is when someone shows compassion, tells a lot about themselves. I'm not saying that Candace doesn't have compassion, but she never.
Who showed compassion? Wait, hold on.
Wendy.
It's easy to show compassion when nobody's on your ass. Of course she showed compassion. They had no beef. But go on.
I know.
I disagree. Sorry. Again, I think Wendy was looking out for Candace by trying to tell her that, but it wasn't for the sake of, let's not talk about Mia's mom. I think Wendy could care less about Wendy's mom. I think she just really wants her friend to keep staying on the show and not get sucked into too much problematic behavior and not be a favorite to come back.
The best friend award, because she had Candace's back. She was having, I'm not saying out of love of Mia because she loves Mia. She just knew that because of what she learned, oh my God, I need to warn my friend. I don't want her to look bad, in case she doesn't know. But I am telling you right now, trust and believe. I do not believe for a second that some way, somehow, the information didn't get to Candace. Either she did the research on Mia, which I would, because she's a newbie coming, or that Giselle and Robin did not tell her. We know these two, they don't keep.
Okay, so Mariam, listen, we're gonna table that, not the discussion, because I'm gonna let Kaya speak, but let's see what happens on the reunion, because if she was told, it's most likely going to come out at the reunion. So let's see if you're gonna be able to do your victory lap in a few weeks.
Do you think Candace at the reunion will apologize for mentioning Mia's mom, not for attacking?
Absolutely. Mia? She apologized to Ashley. She's apologized to Monique. Candace will say an apology.
Can you send me those clips? I never seen them.
Well, they're there. Google.
She apologizes. She just stands by what she said, but she apologizes for the impact.
I'm sorry for the way I delivered it. I'm sorry for this. But she says, but I felt that I do believe it's true, and I respect that, because I respect that. But Kaya, to your point.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, also discussion on boundaries needs to be spoken of, because for me personally, we're not going to talk about the whole thing with Mia mom, but I said earlier that I felt like there was a little bit of a plot ploy, because I know more about Mia's mom than I know about Mia. But also I find it very interesting that the one who we see the next episode is going to be crying and going to be belaboring that her mother goes into relapse because of Candace, someone she does not know, on a show that you brought your mother on, that she has no problem going onto the Twitters and talking about other people's moms or trying to make a diss out of it. The whole your mama thing happened, and she turned around and still made a tweet and talking about how Escala lives with her mother as if that was a dig. So I just feel like someone who does not want that door to be open should not show that door to anyone else. I think she doesn't really know about any boundaries. I do think, as Judge Justice said, Karen is being calculating because Karen is kind of being like, oh yeah, I'll stand and jump in front of you too while you're arguing. But then also on the after show, she's paired with Mia. And it's interesting how she kind of tries to stand up for Mia, but then really doesn't. So like when the whole your mama thing happened, she says, oh yes, I was glad that Ashley stepped in because I think someone should have. Well, you're Mia's friend. Why didn't you step in? Why were you expecting Ashley to step in when Ashley doesn't know Mia from a can of paint? So I think she is being very calculating of like keeping Mia around, keeping that kind of energy around, and kind of showing that she's in the grand dame of the troop, but still allowing the mess play out.
No, you know what? That is completely true. Now, listen, I want you guys to come around and let's rank this episode. Let's start with Mel, NYC. Mel, first of all, you are a housewife historian. I want you to give me your overall. I want you to. Mel NYC Reviews is starting his own YouTube channel. Mel NYC Reviews. Go on and follow his YouTube. The link is going to be in the description box. And his Instagram. So the link to his Instagram is going to be in the description box. Go ahead and follow him on Instagram. And of course, there's a link in his bio for his YouTube channel that is starting. He doesn't have any videos up yet. We are in the beta state. Well, he is in the beta stage developing. I've just been cheering from the sidelines.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, but once his channel's up, you're going to see me over there. You're probably going to see Judgy Justice, ACE, Kaya. We're all going to come and support. Get your panels up and rocking. So get in on it early.
Everybody's welcome.
Yeah, and he has some really cool stuff on it too. He's going to have some really cool ideas. I don't want to put them out there because I know how people on YouTube love to grab ideas. So everybody's going to copy him once they see his ideas, but let's make sure he's the first to do it, and then they can copy it. All right, so go on.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Well, well, tonight's episode, I'm going to give maybe a 7 because, it wasn't boring. I'll put it that way. It was uncomfortable, and like a lot of the comments said, it was very cringy. But it wasn't forgetful, that's for sure. So I'm gonna give it a 7. I think that what was I thinking? I think that was funny.
Okay.
Oh, so what happened?
No, I don't know. Go on.
Oh yeah, no. I was gonna say I think that it was funny that when the girls were arriving at the house, that Giselle was in her house with one of her, clean her house, whatever it was, and Robin was clipping the toenails. And said, damn. So when they not mess with people's lives and being shady, they got not a damn thing to do. So they was sitting around being bored, and that's probably why they always being shady, because they got nothing to do. They got no lives. So when the girls were having fun, they were being bored. So I thought that was very interesting. So that was very funny to me, that little scene. And Mia's husband's a hot mess. I mean, that's just the biggest sign. He is a hot mess when he's
drunk. And that's what it is. And he's one of those things, you said it right. He's a hot mess. And when he's not going home with you, it's just like you just shake your head like, geez, crazy. But if I had to deal with that, it's like, okay, this shit isn't funny anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not funny. Also, before we move on to ACE, also, Mariam has left the chat. Let's wish her a lot of positive energy. Mariam is going on a 2-week vacation. She is getting packed right now. She is going to be living a life. She is not paid by anyone on Instagram. Go ahead and follow her. And also, all my panelists, make sure you can DM me on Instagram, your Instagram handles. I'll definitely drop them in the comment box or in the description box and support you guys if you guys want your Instagram handed out, or if you guys have your YouTube channels. Always find the support, but make sure you guys go on and join Not Paid by Anyone on Instagram, because if we can get our girl up to so many subscribers, she might be a spokesperson for Kenya More Hair Care. So let's show her some love and give those numbers she needs so she can start flexing on us with her Kenya More Hair Care. So Mel, what else did you think about the episode, and then when you're done, we'll move on to ACE.
Yeah, like I said, I think that it was a good episode. I mean, I laughed when I saw Robin and Giselle being bored. That was very hysterical. Yeah, it was what it was. It was very cringy, but it wasn't boring, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the episode.
Yes, yeah, I enjoyed the episode too. I enjoyed it. I do not, and ACU, you're next, but I will say it makes me uncomfortable that producers are even using that trauma from Mia's past as a storyline. And I understand Mia using it because one, she wants to be on the show, and two, she probably is like, I've been through trauma, but I worked through it. I'm older, I'm bigger, I'm not that same scared little girl. I feel like there's a lot more she has to process, and I wish producers would kind of back off of it because to me, it's a little bit dark for reality TV. Like, I laugh, I shade, I stay dragging Portia's fiance. But to me, it's like there's difference from like real trauma where it's like, well, this isn't funny on any metric, and nah, these are things that like kill people.
And I was going to say that was a good point, and that's the reason why I first of all I don't hate anybody on the franchise. I don't. The only person I don't like is Ashley. I don't like her at all. But with Mia, I think that she can be a little annoying and she's problematic. But because of her history, I do feel for her, and that's why I was saying earlier when she was in that room, she wasn't prepared. She has a vulnerability, or she just has a ability to make you feel sorry for her. That's what I want to say. Sometimes what happened on the show, you see the scenes with her husband, you see when she gets in trouble with the girls, and then you hear her tell her story about her life. It's like, it's rough. And I think for me, if she wasn't as animated as sometimes she can be, it might be very depressing to watch her on the screen because she has a very heavy story. Her mother was, just a lot. It's a lot of stuff going on. So it's pretty dark and pretty depressing. But she's a character, so that sells it.
No, definitely. ACE, why don't you jump in?
Yes, I'll give the episode like a 7.5. Overall, I thought it was good, entertaining, a lot of good moments. I felt like this episode kind of dropped a lot of different nuggets because, like, one thing, I think Mel was the one who mentioned this earlier in reference to G, basically showing different sides, him with his children and then him drinking or whatever. And I remember earlier in the episode, he stated that he wasn't excited to go on this couple's vacation because he just likes to be in private with Mia, and then turns to him like basically embarrassing himself in front of everyone drunk on the couple's vacation. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like kind of cackling at like the way he was just, it was just so cringy. And then when the scholar walked in, he was like, "Who's that?" that was really funny to me. But another thing,
ooh, who's that? He literally, and Mia was just like,
and then he's like, "The scholar, I heard so much about you." Like, okay,
yes.
So you do know who that is. Like, all right, so maybe you're fake. And then as far as Tamaria's part earlier, she mentioned Wendy showing compassion towards her in the bedroom. And because that's how I interpreted that scene as well. But then for Mia to walk out of that room moments later and then call them all broke. So it's like, it's kind of hard to have too much compassion for Mia because she kind of just, I don't know, her actions just warrant what she receives, even though I think Candace went too far. I don't know, there's a lot going on. But yeah, overall, it was an entertaining episode. Yeah, overall, it was entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of laughs.
Real Housewives in Potomac has been super solid. I'm waiting for the producers to give us a little bit of magic. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like, it's super solid. I think to binge watch the whole season again, it'll be really good and really funny. And the reunion, I don't know why. I feel like the story is like now for the reunion, unless something else happens. I don't want to hear about Candace calling Mia's mom low budget because again,
or the Eddie rumors. I'm like over it.
Or the Eddie rumors, right. Because we know they're not true at all. So it's like, what are we hashing out? Like, I see what they're setting up for the reunion, and I see how Giselle and Robin want to keep their hands clean so they can just be sitting on the couch and saying shady shit. But I'm waiting for I don't know why it's so hard for people to get storylines. Maybe because I'm not a producer for reality TV, but I really don't understand because our lives, we could produce better storylines.
That's right.
go into the goddamn store and grab, like
That's
they
right.
have olive oil. So I ventured. It's like, I just don't understand why it's so hard to get interesting storylines.
I did. You know what? And I was, well, I think I was talking to a person today, and I was telling them, you're right. I think that we all have had soap opera lives that probably a little more interesting than what we see on television. And I just hope that this year they don't make it three episodes. They better make it just one episode for reunion. There's not enough meat there, because I don't know if I'll watch three episodes for a reunion. I mean, that's just not going to happen.
Well, you know what it is with the reunions, don't you find? You watch the first one, and then Kaya, and then we're going to go to Judge Justice. You watch the first reunion, they tease you. Nothing happens in the first part of the reunion, except the last 5 minutes, and then you somehow, the way your life is, you miss the second one, and you watch it on playback, but then you're really upset because they tease you some more, and then everything is usually in the last part of the reunion. So, yeah, it's like Bravo has this recipe that now we just know ain't shit happening. Literally in the first, we just do it because we missed them. They've been off for 2 or 3 weeks. Second one, we usually miss, watch on playback. So that's what's going on. Kaya, why don't you weigh in on what you thought? And you guys, just so you know, recaps and rants, we do it every Sunday after Potomac, and every Wednesday after Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're going to talk to Mel NYC and see if he wants to do a Salt Lake City. We'll convene, right?
That's right.
It might be good. It might be good, or it might be what it's been all season, because they're still on that ice. They're still ice fishing. So I was just like, I don't know, right? But also let you guys know about recap. You guys, listen, there's spirited debates. This is the flavor that is on my YouTube channel. I just want you guys to come and feel welcome. But no, there will be people talking. There will be people being passionate. There will be people even sometimes over talking. It's a part of the chaos that I like. So either join me in the damn chaos, or go to something more structured. There's more structured things, but I'll tell you what, chaos is addictive. Once you shake out of those norms of thinking, it becomes like intoxication. So welcome. All right. So wait, AC, so you gave it a 7.5. Did you have anything else to say on the subject? And then after that, we're gonna go to Kaya.
Just last thing, when it comes to Karen getting in between Mia and Candace, I don't know. I feel like Karen just moves for herself. I think she's looking for like puppets, so to speak. And as far as, I think that she views Candace as maybe a threat to like being that the main one who can read and keep the girls in check on the show. I think she views Candace as a threat in that way. And I don't know if she's always going to be positioned on the other side, but try to do it passively. I don't know. I think there's something deeper going on in between both of them. Yeah. And I'm looking forward for that to come to surface. That's going to be.
You know what? I agree with that. Thank you. So, and then Kaya, what you got?
I give the episode, what do I do? Also, I feel like my voice is so high when I'm talking to lives. But anyway, I give the episode, I personally, I'll give it 8.5. I was laughing. I know some people say it was too far. I'm an Aquarius, okay? Once you irritate me, once I don't like you, I don't like you. No excuses. So I found it quite enjoyable. I will say though, I am a bit worried about Jean. I do not want another Michael Darby situation, in the sense that like we saw Michael Darby, as she came on the first or second season, and we saw just a little bit grab on Katie's fiance or husband at that time. No, it was a little awkward, but like everyone was like, okay, and now every season it's become like a thing. so like
every season the police are at the door asking to speak to Michael J. Darby. So
yeah. So I just don't want now. I don't, if Mia stays on, which I'm like about, but if she stays on, I don't want it to become like, oh, we have to talk about your husband, essentially telling you to shut the F up, and like basically saying he's a stripper connoisseur when we know you were a stripper. So are you a part of his collection? I'm just saying, I just don't want to like have to go through that cycle with another husband. I would rather not. I still don't like Ashley. I don't like what she presents. I don't like, she gives me very much so biracial Karen, who's living her white bag because she got a white man, white babies now. So she just skeeves me out. And I think Potomac used to be very fun and enjoyable. And as people dog Candace Candace used to have really fun like shade. Remember, she called Sharice like, and I don't talk to geriatric Grammys, and like I came from Jesus, and you are all kept women, and the $900,000 cabin teardown. She used to have like quips, but then people started going dirty, so that she matched and rised above that energy. So I think if everyone can be on the same accord about kind of where they're going to be digging at, we can get back to a fun space. And I do blame Giselle for that, because she always seems to be the one to introduce the dark rumors about.
Yeah.
And it seems to like turn the energy. But yeah, I would be fine if people just allow Candace to be a good villain. I would be fine with that, even though I don't think she's a villain.
Yeah.
But if like they allow her to be the villain, it would not go so hard and not wish death on her or like all this extra beat her up and all that kind of stuff. I think we'll have a funner time if people are allowed to like play the roles that we're essentially giving them.
I agree with you. Candace would actually, if they would let her take on the Kenya role, but they're too busy trying to, instead of being the villain, she is the, what do you call it? She's the scapegoat of the show.
Yes,
right?
yes, the black sheep and scapegoat, yes.
Yeah, because Karen said Giselle had STD, hotbox, was a whole broke
Ashley
down.
said Sharice had T-Rex arms and saggy titties.
She said, you're a broken down old whore from Hampton. That shit hit me where I was like, well, goddamn, like, really? What, did I really hurt you that bad?
And I was gonna say, Tisa, remember, and the part that was crazy when she said, and everybody knows it.
Yes, and listen, I was just like, oh, right?
She said, everybody knows. Oh Lord.
Yeah, she said she was in the crazy house. She said she had a
sing and oh gosh,
flapping around her fat.
How about Lord?
Yes, and everybody just laughed, even online. That was shade. Yes, girl. She just calls Mia big ass feet, right? And now it's like you're body shaming. Is this where we're at? Big feet is body shaming. Like
that's why I asked like where are the lines, because that's what confuses me. Because I'm just kind of like, well, if you don't want people to go deep, then people go for superficial things, which is like your body, your face, what you're wearing. You know, like that's where you go. Then if you don't want someone, talking about other things. So I get conflicted by that.
Yeah, I get conflicted by that too. Like, but again, I do believe that Candace is the scapegoat and the black sheep. And if they could let her move into a Kenya Moore role, I think that Candace, because that's what we need. We need a Kenya, we need a Karen, and we need a Giselle. And I don't care what anybody says, Giselle and Karen are going to be friends next season. They have that frenemy relationship where sometimes they're on, sometimes they're off.
Yeah, they're very Tamara and Vicky, that's for sure.
Yes, that's exactly what they are. Now, we're gonna, let's see, Judgy Justice, you're next, Kaya. So let's just see. So you rank it what? And do you have any other thoughts on the subject?
Yeah, I rank it 8.5. I found it entertainment. Yes, it went, maybe for some it went a bit too far. I found entertainment in it, so.
So wait, hold on. Mariam just said that she was watching the Watch What Happens thing, and Giselle threw Candace under the bus because Giselle said that Candace's mouth is a trash can. I find that ironic that the person that has caused every major dark moment, whether by design or by accident, right, is now saying somebody has a trash can mouth.
And see, I think people
say that what Monique's baby wasn't hers. I mean, wasn't Chris's,
But Candace is a scapegoat. So
she's a scapegoat.
And I think Candace will read Giselle at the end. I think we forget that Candace used to read Giselle as much as she could. And then they came on okay thing, and then the Monique situation kind of spiraled out of control from the sharing of the text messages with Ashley, and it kind of went from there. From the after show on YouTube, like Candace lets Wendy go there, and then she even quips with her about the whole Giselle situation. So I don't think Giselle will be skating by as people like to make it seem. I think she knows Giselle's role, so she knows not to fully cross the boundary. Exactly. But when you call a woman's home a $900,000 teardown, and you know it's a home for her children, and she's adding extra money into it, I feel like you've done all you could.
No, it's true. It's true. And when I say I want her to move more into a Kenya role, it's not that I think Kenya's a villain, even though they try to make her the villain. My point in saying more of a Kenya is like Kenya gets to be unapologetic. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what I think too?
Be unapologetic. Go on.
You know what I think too? So what I think is the difference between, and I think that's a wonderful observation. So Kenya is more a person who asks questions, and Candace is more a person who makes reactions. So if she decided to go on the offense and next year come in and say, you know what, I'm not going to sit around and wait for these girls to shade me. I'm going to be the nosy one. I'm going to ask the questions. If you watch the show, she doesn't really care about their personal and their lives. She's not going to ask these questions. So the producers say, you know what, I want you to now start asking questions about Giselle or whatever. That would be more Kenya. Kenya is the one who's going to just preemptively start asking questions and investigating people and bringing people to tables and all that kind of stuff. If she decided to do that, she would move the story along. But right now she's reacting a lot to what people are doing to her.
Yeah, I agree. She's reacting. That's her first thing. But also the fact that everybody on that cast, and I feel like the producers back them up. Every time Candace says everything, they're like, "Oh my God, you hurt me. Apologize." And then the producers make the story about bringing Candace down the hill so she can apologize.
That's right.
So let's see. So in that case, she is a Kenya, but she's not allowed to be unapologetic. And I think the producers are doing that on purpose in the fact that even how like Candace was on Twitter and Andy is like, your mouth is lethal, but you got Erica Jane tweeting that the victims can go F themselves and all this other stuff.
That's right.
And it's all fine. It's good. Let's have a cry fest. So I don't know. Andy is sometimes, I don't know. Like
He's
I said,
suspect. Yeah, of course, yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's
just they show Candace's tweets between her and Ashley, but for some reason, no, I know Ashley deleted her tweets because she started tweeting Candace first. But I'm like, bravo, you didn't catch Ashley's tweets before she deleted them.
But that's the thing. They did, but they wanted to make that the storyline because they want Candace to be the victim everybody hates, but also the victim everybody can whip because she's not allowed to stand up for herself. So everybody can take a kick in, right? And to that point, when Ashley was like, I was in labor. Like Candace has said, if you were in labor, what were you doing tweeting me? Because
that's right. She wasn't. She was not in labor. That's a good point. So there was that narrative at the reunion, and that's another thing when Monique was like, "Oh my God, the reunion was so unfair to me," but it was unfair to Candace too because Ashley was able to sit there and say, "You were attacking me while I was giving birth." That's not true. Yeah. She was not in the middle of giving birth. She was actually either doing it before or after. But the moment that Candace wrote some kind of crazy tweet about Ashley, she was not giving birth in that moment. So,
and and listen, Ashley though, she had an induced labor, so I'm willing to bet that it was probably a day around she planned to go in because it was scheduled. Be induced. She's probably going through some shit with Michael. She started arguing with Candace on Twitter. Candace really hurt her feelings, and Ashley decided to make it seem like I was in the middle of giving labor. Because I bet you, if anybody presses her on that, you're going to see she's going to be like, "Well, I was in labor for 72 days." It'll be one of those things, right?
I was going to say, you know what I was going to say in the beginning of the season, people were like, "Oh, Candace is holding on to this," and I was telling people, stop saying that. Candace was doing such a good job by not inviting Ashley anywhere because. I will say this to Ashley. She is so good at pressing Candace buttons, as we see in the trailer for next week. So Candace was good at the episode last week when she said, "Were you there? You were not at the video shoot, but you about to commentate on what's going on." Also, whenever she reads Ashley said, "It doesn't matter. I'm rich," as we talked about the husband. She uses Michael as a protection to sort of minimize Candace every chance she gets. Yeah, I have more money than you, whatever. So my question is always, Ashley, if Candace is not hurting you, if what she's saying is insignificant to you, why do you go on Twitter? Why do you go these places and make it like she's hurting you when you say all the time she's not? That what she says is insignificant. Also,
good point.
You know, and so if we watch the show, Ashley is very good at pushing buttons, so she will insert herself every chance she get to push the button, as we're going to see next week. So I think that when Candace was not inviting Ashley anywhere, it was a very smart move. Now, and the season's about to end. She's dealing with the lady, and now they're getting back into more issues. I think, that the fans who hate her is very happy right now. That's all I can say. They are very happy because she took the bait. That's all I can say. Very happy.
She took the bait, and we see in the next episode, unfortunately, she is deep in her feelings. And again, we all make light about what Candace went through last season. It was very humiliating. It would have been very traumatic for me to get myself by a friend dragged across the table and hit on national TV, and then drag through the streets of Twitter and YouTube, and people telling you. So I don't know. I feel like she's a bit traumatized too. So I think Candace is reacting too, where when she jumps up with Mia, when Mia does that, she's trying to prove I'm not a victim. You know how you replay things in your mind and you're like, nobody's ever going to make me a victim again. Yeah. So I think she's kind of working through that too. But that said, to Kaya's point, to your point, Mel, to your point, ACA, and then Judge Justice, we're going to let it. I think that the way Candace reacted was cruel, but I don't think it was unjustified.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
It was not. It was not unprovoked. It was not. It
It
was
was not
provoked.
unprovoked.
That's
And
right.
I know that it wasn't unprovoked. And I know it's just like with some people, you know, you start shit. Like Kaya said, both starting at the race, and then you just get mad that like the person outruns you because y'all were both sitting there. You thought you were gonna smoke them, and that's what happened this episode with Mia. I would give this episode a 7.52. I think that's exactly what happened with Mia. Mia walked into that room, and I do agree. I saw her childhood hurt coming in, and I saw the way she's like, "Oh, the girls, they're probably figuring out that I lied," and like you saw like her protective mechanisms at play. But that said, once her protective mechanisms clicked in, it's like, yeah, this is mean, Candace, but it's not unprovoked. And as soon as Mia had a chance to disengage, and this is the thing, as soon as Mia had a chance to disengage, she couldn't. She ran to Ashley and thought Ashley would be backup. But Mia forgot from her research that Candace always reads Ashley down to the ground. Ashley can get under her skin, but Candace reads her down each and every day. Each and every day. And then also, yes. So, Judgy Justice, why don't you let me know what you thought of this episode? Would you rank it, and what was your takeaway?
Okay, so I would actually rate it an 8. I'm with Kaya. I was laughing, I was giggling, and I felt like I was a schoolgirl back in high school, sitting outside the hallway, watching this go down. Like, am I gonna see this thing? Oh, you want to let her talk to you like that? You want to say? I'm just going back and forth, like swaying in my watching, and I really think that, you know, reality. This, like, I think I said it before on a different live, but this type of reality TV show isn't for Mia. She needs to jump the boat to own TV. She needs to get on a Ayana Fix her life.
Well, no, I think she would do good on OWN or like the Braxtons or something. Like so a show like that, but I do think she would do good on OWN, their style of reality TV.
Yeah, because it's it's a little bit cleaner in a sense, and it's not. And then it's also like no one care, and then it's also that forgiving about it. Like no matter what the Braxtons or Marriage to Huntsville or any of those people do, they're forgiven, and it keeps the story just keeps going. So I think that's you know, what she needs, because, you know, with people like Mel being the historian of Bravo, we're gonna run through it and we'll be like, you lied here, you lied in here. We don't even know your age. You know, do you even remember your shoe size? You just say that you got big feet. Like, it's just.
I mean, we can't even count how many surgeries you had. I mean, really.
No, like she didn't even know the surgery she had. She named it the wrong things.
I know.
After all these little things she has, the one thing that really got under her was Bigfoot and handsome.
Maybe it was the only thing she couldn't fix was her feet.
Oh.
Even if it was that, you like, there are certain things you can get over with. Like, she's buying like expensive shoes, I'm assuming, so she would need to what is it, like you could just say, oh, you could just kiss my red bottoms, these big fat red bottoms. Like,
yeah, but she's not ready for that.
She's not prepared for these types of situations. And even though she should be honestly one of the most prepared people coming from that background where you've probably lived in places, dealt with things, picked on school because you ain't got no real parents and such. Yeah. You should be the most prepared person in the room with the read, with the dig, with a out, with something. So it's just very weird. It's just very like alarming. And especially her being like 60 years old, she should know better.
Yes. No, I agree with you. So you gave this child, what would you rank this thing again? Repeat it. What would you rank it?
I rated 8. I was laughing my butt off. Yeah. I'm gonna probably watch it again tomorrow when I'm supposed to be working.
Me too.
Just so I can laugh again.
I'm gonna talk to Mel, NYC. Mariam, I believe, is gonna be on vacation, so me and Mel do review Salt Lake City. It looks like it's just gonna be the two of us for the next 2 weeks, Mel, and whoever else comes on, we'll work it out. But definitely, this show was good. Real Housewives been really good. Real House of Beverly Hills has been good, but now that we know that Erica Jane is probably going to be back for season 12, I don't know. I don't know. I was waiting to see her get her just desserts, but she's not.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But I think that it was great. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I had a great recap. I love the fact that we get spirited, we disagree, but at the end of the day, it is all love. And I really enjoy hearing you guys' good. I love hearing you guys' perspectives, you know? Because you guys all are super intelligent and have great and super. So you guys make me catch things I don't even see. So I love it. Thank you so much. God willing, I'll talk to Mel and see if we're gonna do a Salt Lake City recap. But I just have to let you know, Salt Lake City recaps, we're gonna try to keep them to like an hour until the season really picks up. You know,
That's right.
yeah, until the season picks up. You know,
Yeah.
but Potomac, because this is our baby, we let it go a little bit over, but we love it in here. And then Beverly Hills, we'll work it out. So you guys, thank you so much for joining. All of my panelists, Kaya, of course, Mel, NYC, reviews. Be on the lookout. He's coming hard. Kaya, Judgy Justice, who's also on YouTube. Kaya is going to be starting up. I have a feeling ACE is going to be starting up too. We might just be a YouTube family, a clique of winners. We all grew up together, you know?
I was going to say, we're going to be a YouTube
Yeah,
house.
all the way. Going all the way.
Class of 2021 YouTube. Right?
We're gonna be in the YouTube house of Tisa. You're gonna be the queen mother of the house of Tisa. We're gonna be under
Listen,
your.
listen, I'm just happy to be the class of 2021. We'll take our pick like yes, and we'll be playing. What is it? Kanye West and Jay-Z. Ain't nobody messing with our clique. You know.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Thank you everybody for joining. Y'all have a good one.